morning to you. How are you this lovely, lovely Monday? I hope you enjoyed your weekend because I did, and I am all ready for this week. If you did, don't worry. That's why we are here. We are here to set the pace for your week with amazing, amazing conversations. And I'm not alone today. My name is Stephanie Ayeta, and I have been joined by the awesome Brian Sakwa.
Yeah,
Karibu.
I'm clapping for myself, yeah? Good morning
Yeah,
to you, Steph. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good too.
Uh-huh.
I just learned moments ago that this is the second week of November. I may thought we are on the first week.
Uh-huh.
It seems like days are moving too fast. But anyways, good morning to you once again. Like Stephanie has said, it's bound to be an amazing show. And towards the tail end at 9 a.m., we'll be talking about redefining success. Beg your pardon, yeah. So it is doing the thing. So we're talking about redefining success, and I'll be speaking to Denzel Kwanga. He's a creative designer alongside Dennis Josiah. He's a poet, and we'll be delving into what does it take exactly to be successful, especially now that the year is just about to clock the end, and you know. There's those check-ins and check-outs that you do to try and do a spot check on some of the hits. And Mrs., did you achieve your New Year's goals, by the way? You know, would you consider that as part of the things you'd say you are successful at achieving? That's what we'll be delving into and much more. So stick around for that conversation. At Brian Sako 101, that's where you can find me. And let's get to interact. Yeah.
Amazing. You know, you've mentioned redefining success, what you're going to talk about, and it's
Yeah.
almost sort of tied to what I'm also going to talk about
Oh,
with
yeah.
my guest for career.
Yes.
At 8 a.m., we're going to talk about how to build a growth-oriented career. Because you
Yeah.
might have a career, but it's just stagnant, you know.
Right.
So how, you know, that is also success in career. So how to get that exactly. And this comes from an expert, someone who's been there and has seen progress in his own career. So it's going to be an amazing conversation. But before we
Yeah.
get to that and
Yeah,
everything, how
sure.
was your weekend?
Yeah, my weekend was fantastic. It was what caught my attention was this Ebang Igonga guy.
Ah.
You know, you know, we left here last week while we were trying to talk about it, and of course, X was blowing up. But then there's a lot of developments on it, and I was just checking out the comments, and you know, the way Kenyans try to, you know, be creative and they create memes out of it, and then just the developments, and then I think the last video is I've not watched the adult videos, to be honest. Those videos of
Thank
him
God.
in his act, I have refused to watch because I know.
Thank you.
Because I know the aftermath of those videos. But then I saw the video when he's being arrested and he was chained up, and you know, they're treating him like, you know, he's a serial killer and a serial criminal. But then the shocking part is, I just love it how the rest of Africa is, you know, celebrate. I don't know if it's the rest of part or just specific people. They are amplifying this man, you know, branding him to be like some sort of, you know, you know, I don't know, in the Bible, was Solomon like that? I don't even think so.
So-
Tafadhali,
it
let's
was-
not even try to think Solomon and this man in the same, in the same sentence. But they're calling him a hero, and it just also tells you, you know, what we revere. But then there's light moments of it.
Yeah.
The shocking part is this person was recording videos with President and Swedes, you know, his wife again. Yeah, I heard that, you know, she also had videos again. So it's been quite a week of just explosiveness from this Tabang Kigongi guy. It's crazy, you know.
It's been crazy when you think about him. And what also got me is that, interestingly enough, he was training more. He wasn't even training in his country as much.
Yeah.
That is Guinea-Bissau, Equatorial Guinea. Why do I keep on confusing the two? Equatorial Guinea. He was training more in Kenya, South Africa, and is it Nigeria?
Yeah.
Kenya,
in
South Africa,
Nigeria.
and Nigeria. Like, sisi ndio tuko na kierere kwa hii continent. Guys, what is wrong with that? Are we
But
just
sisi ni main
social?
character. You
Yeah?
know, main character. South Africa, top. Kenya, top. Nigeria. We're
I
like
think-
the SI units of Africa.
I think so, because we're very, maybe probably because we're very active on the
Yeah.
socials, and maybe we can give that to the fact that we are tech savvy, we are digitally
Yeah.
ahead and everything, but where?
Yeah.
Guys,
Sure.
what is wrong? And as you've said, people have really glorified him.
Yeah.
But guys, it's so much. You know how to differentiate jokes and real life. So do not
Yeah.
take it seriously. People have been glorifying him, but it is not right. What he
Yeah.
has done is not right. It remains that we need to be one couple person. Interestingly enough,
Yeah.
yesterday at my church, something
Yeah.
that stood out for me.
Uh-huh.
At my church, we had this seminar, and we had an amazing, amazing speaker. He is very well known. He's called Boniface Nganga,
Yeah.
and we also had Kushtresi. So we
Yeah.
were talking about yeah, it was for people, single people, and those dating, for single mothers,
Yeah.
people who are not married. So,
Mhm.
so it was really interesting. And what really got me was, and this is of course in the spiritual context because it,
Yeah.
you know, dating, singlehood, and Christ. So it
Yeah.
was really interesting because it's very contrary to what people out here on social media are promoting, kina egonga and
Yeah.
and the likes. And one thing that really got me is that we need to get to know safe people.
Yeah.
There are safe people and there are unsafe people. So
Okay.
and first, he was telling us, are you a safe person yourself?
Mhm.
And you could only get a safe person if you are a safe person, because how else do you identify a safe person?
Yeah.
And there were all those qualities about getting someone who's safe. That's someone who's secure, someone who has healed from their own traumas, and
Yeah.
someone who's not controlling, someone who's not better in PR than
Right.
integrity. Those people across social media, they're all branded, they're all about themselves and everything.
Yeah.
Someone who's more humble than prideful. And it was amazing. But
Yeah.
it was also about being whole as a person before
Yeah.
getting into a relationship.
Yeah.
How people get unatoka soko unaingia kwa relationship. So you need to be
Mm.
whole, deal with
Yeah.
the holes in your heart, so
Yeah.
for you to be whole and then get to another relationship. And
Mhm.
just being complete, even in singlehood, and those that are dating, just
Yeah.
being complete in yourself before getting into
Mm.
into a
Wow.
relationship. And
Mhm.
it was
That's
amazing.
an
I think we
interesting
needed that.
conversation. Yeah.
Yeah. And Kushtresi also shared her,
Her
bits of
journey
her
and her
story,
experience. Yeah.
her experience being in the
Mhm.
media space and the pressure. People will just give you
Mm.
pressure for no good reason.
Yeah.
For her, she's at 30 and she's single. And she says she's single and she's proud, because
Yeah.
people in the society would be pressuring, oh, why are you 30?
Yeah.
And you're in this space, And
Yeah.
yeah, she was just telling people, just take your time,
Right.
make sure you're the right person, because there's nothing as defining as marriage. When you
Yeah.
get w- to get married to the wrong person, it can change your whole destiny. Imagine Sister Ngonga's wife, like
Yeah.
it's
Mm.
if it's bad when you can get a good person,
Yeah.
but it's not good for you, and that's something that she said. You can
Oh,
get a good person,
okay.
but he's not good for you, or she's not good for you. So
Interesting.
you need to get a
Interesting.
person that
Wow.
is meant for you, and
Wow.
you only get that
It's like we
through.
are delving into the deeper
Ah,
specifics of,
you know,
you know,
I
instead
will.
of just looking at the surface area. Oh, you're da 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 da. Oh, this
Mm.
is the one. Kumbe, you're not the one. So,
Yeah, because you'd be frustrated. Imagine your whole life.
yeah.
It's something I would really be
And end up,
fearful of.
the Kigongi way. Like there are so many names derived from this guy: Kigonga, Kigongwe, Gongewa. Like that. At
I
this
love.
point, the jokes are just writing themselves. But then also, when you look at it, Steph, I was trying to share with a friend of mine who writes for one of the blogs. I was like, the more people watch these videos, the more your journey to signing a contract and being a fan of Pornhub, you know?
You know,
That's how it
it's
goes. You
it's
watch
true.
one, you go to the second, you'll find yourself on our OnlyFans, and trust me, bouncing back will take you deliverance from I don't know who.
Yeah, it's crazy when you look at the statistics of people who are addicted to pornography and
Yeah.
masturbation. Of course,
Yeah.
and you'd think that it's just the men. The stats we were being given yesterday that particular seminar, interesting you've mentioned, I think it was 70%
Yeah.
of men in church, and that's in
Right.
church, so you can imagine outside. I think it was 70% who
Wow. In
are,
church.
yeah, who are in
Sheesh.
porn and masturbation, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
And for ladies, it's 4 out of 10. So that's
Ooh.
still big
Yeah.
considering it's ladies. Some, you
Yeah.
didn't think that a lady would be
Right.
addicted or watching
Yeah.
pornography. It was common
Shocking.
with men, but now it's even among the ladies. So
Yeah.
it's alarming, the number, the high cases, and it's not talked about, or it has been normalized
Yeah.
nowadays. Kama sai mtu you get
Yeah.
people, you just hear people say atumefika episode, and
Yeah.
those are
To be
Engonga's
honest,
videos.
I saw
it,
that.
it,
You
it's
know.
crazy, yeah. People,
Yeah.
it's normalized, but it has some after effects. So if you watch all those videos, I don't know even how many they are. For those that
Yeah.
have watched, maybe they know how many
Mm.
they are. But the fact, even after you watch one, it does something to you.
Yeah.
Subconsciously, when I think, I mean, I'm an history, but it gets to you.
Yeah.
This, it gets to your soul, it gets to you, it gets inside, and
Yeah.
then now you become addicted. And addict is not just someone who just
Yeah.
ameingia tu na akakuwa addict. It takes
Mm.
time, it takes your mind being hooked to something. And the devil is very cunning, and
Yeah.
he will use such a situation, which is cool and all that, to get one person, two persons, three.
Yeah.
You can't imagine how many people just from these videos will be addicted to pornography and masturbation. And it's crazy and it's bad,
Yeah.
because some people also glorify it, like what's the harm in it? I'm not hurting anyone, but people hurt themselves. When you listen to people like Pastor T, when you listen to people who
Yeah.
have been from that, who have had experience in that,
Robert
and
Burale.
Robert
Yeah.
Burale, people who have
Okay.
been brave enough to speak about it,
Yeah.
and they got from it. I know. I don't know about women, but I know most of the men, like the likes you've mentioned, who have been through it, but I also
Yeah.
know men who are suffering. I don't know how to put it, but suffering in the addiction, and it
Yeah.
gets worse because for some men who have been addicted for over like I think 10 years or so,
Yeah.
it gets to a point where it affects them even in marriage, sexually. People have ejaculation problems
Yeah.
and all that. So it has some after effects. And when you go to Google
Yeah.
will not tell you any bad effects about things like that, like masturbation,
Right.
pornography. It will tell you, oh, it's a stress reliever.
Yeah.
You do that, it's a stress reliever, or
Yes.
it's healthy for you. What? It will give
Yeah.
you all the lies that
I
it
think
can
we
give.
even here in Kenya we have a name for it. We call it kunyonga monkey, because
Yeah.
we make it softer so that you accept it. But
Yeah.
then also I've seen justified medical confessions where a doctor saying, oh, kidogo tu sijui it's relieving something. I even watched a video where a guy said when he nyongas monkey, that's when he's able to sleep. But then for me, I feel like it makes you lose your sleep, because you're losing bodily fluids, and these are very specific fluids that are exiting your body. But then the spiritual effect of it, like Pastor T said, is it leaves your soul empty.
True.
You just operate like an empty vessel, an empty
yeah,
devil.
yeah.
So I think it's an interesting time. But then also, if I think it was the book written by Muli, the guy who interviewed here. There's one of the chapters in his book where he's detailing as well his journey struggling with porn when he was in States here. I think you interviewed him. He's a good friend.
Yeah,
He even details how much people spend on OnlyFans and Pornhub in that book, yeah, and it's billions. Like that adult industry is milking off people's souls very fast. So I think it's interesting. But then I think this situation is going to trigger a lot of it in terms of even people in the corporate space who are. I was once in today's Monday. Oh, I feel like it's Tuesday. On Friday, I was at a place, and the women in that circle were literally discussing how men nowadays will not just be satisfied with them, and they're saying it's even normal for a man to do or go for whatever escapade. So I think it's going to elicit a certain reaction for a certain demographic. But then if you're grounded and you know yourself,
Yeah.
trust me, you won't be a victim of this. And for me, I said, no, I'm not going to watch. I clicked on one of the videos, and after I scrolled up, I saw it was heading, and I told myself, okay,
No.
I see what you're doing to me. You'll
So a
not do
devil
it.
not today.
You will not do it because I
Devil not
know
today.
that journey, my
Ah.
friend.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
it's true. Don't start what you can't finish, or it will be
Yeah.
tough out there. You're not strong enough. Your flesh is weak. The Bible says that the
Yeah.
spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. Don't get to that point, because it gets bad. And speaking from people who have, spoken of it before, the likes of Pastor T and Robert Burali, and I don't know why ladies haven't spoken about it, but I'm sure they've also passed through it. Maybe we will get stories one day of people to share the stories on
Yeah.
their addiction, because we've talked
Yeah.
about different kind of addiction. Last
Mm.
week there was, we talked about betting. We've talked about drug addiction before.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, we never talked about sexual addiction. Maybe we will have that conversation because it's necessary.
I think we can push it
But-
to Mantok. You said, yeah, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Maybe
Yeah,
next week, yeah?
would be nice.
Effects za
Absolutely.
kujonga monkey. Yeah.
Would be nice, absolutely. So there we have it. Now, Sakwa, so you also mentioned earlier we are getting into the festivities,
Yeah.
and people are looking, maybe some people are reflecting on what they have been able to accomplish throughout
Yeah,
the year.
little bit of
Looking back,
Uh-huh.
on in a range, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you say your year has been?
On a scale
10
of 1
meaning-
to 10. 10 meaning the highest.
10 meaning awesome,
Okay.
1 meaning nah, yeah, not so cool.
I'd say it's been an eventful year, but I think this year has ended really fast. Yeah, according to me, I feel like I'm a rush kiasi because maybe we had the Gen Zs protesting between. What has happened in between? An impeachment,
lot.
we are just surviving. I
just
don't know if we are
surviving
recovering or
between.
surviving an impeachment, yeah?
Yeah.
So I feel like there's a lot of events this year. But yeah, this year has been fantastic, I'd say, for me. Yeah, just being sane and, no ahala. This year has been fantastic, I'd say.
Fantastic. So fantastic would be around 8.
Yeah, sure. I can let it be a 10 anyways.
It could be a 10.
It
Okay.
could be a 10.
Wow, that's quite something.
Yeah.
I also think the year has been fair, quite good.
Yeah.
We all, I think everyone, no one is exempted from having some bad days, some months like, this month, what is wrong? Like, what's happening?
Yeah.
And so I've also had the bad months, I've had the good months, I've had some amazing moments. So I'd say I'm grateful for the year. And on a range of 1 to 10, I'm not quite sure where to place it, but I'd place it at 8. I think I'd place mine at 8 just
Yeah.
to leave room for.
Mm.
Well, but the
For-
year it has
for
not ended. It
development,
could get
yeah?
to a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Because the better it gets, the more we
miracles
eliminate the bad
happen.
days.
Miracles happen.
Miracles
and,
happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's something. And speaking of which, we've had a lot of some incidences this year. High number of femicides, and people have stood out to speak against it. I personally speak against it.
Yeah.
I don't understand what has been happening, and not just that, but there's also a news that I've just seen this morning of a KCSE candidate who's been stabbed to death by fellow student at Shiner's Boy High School, and I think that's quite heartbreaking.
Yeah.
I don't know, what do you make of what's happening?
I think I saw that yesterday in the news update. They're saying it's because they came back to the dormitory and found, I think their boxes were, was it somebody, they think they tried to steal something. So this group of young guys were so enraged and they decided to gang up on him and they stabbed him to death. But then it's unfortunate that they are KCC candidates. So it means that they've murdered and now they have to deal with the effect of that because this is a life lost. And then for they themselves, they're now criminals. and hopefully maybe they're less than 18. But anyways, from the update I saw is that they'll be taken to prison, then out to come do an exam, and then taken at jail, maybe juvenile jail, because they're not yet 18. If they are, maybe, yeah. So it's really unfortunate that we are experiencing these sad and tragic events, especially over something as small as somebody. But then, when you look at it, how do they treat thieves outside here, and how do they treat thieves in a school setup?
No,
Probably it could have been like a peer pressure kind of thing, like let's discipline him, and then it escalated to let's stab him to death.
Yeah, it's quite unfortunate because you'd find that one person is the one that might have given the idea of stabbing him.
Yeah.
The others might have wanted to maybe discipline him, the mob kind of way. You know how boys can be a bit aggressive, and it takes one person to have all the others being charged for murder. It's quite something, because if the intention was not malice, it was not to kill someone, then stabbing is to the extreme. That is very intentional. To stab someone is literally you want them dead. Someone could die out of being beaten, blows and stuff, or falling, and you'd say maybe he fell on the head. But stabbing is very intentional. That's someone who actually wanted him dead. And I'm imagining they did not all take a knife or whatever they used to stab him. It was one person, but they will all be incriminated for that particular crime. So it's unfortunate. I hope justice is done, because murder is murder, whether in school, out of school. They have killed someone's child, and not to justify of him stealing, but you can't take laws into your hand. I also, to some extent, feel for people who are murdered outside by mob justice. I don't support them, but I feel like, maybe they could have changed. Maybe they could have reformed if taken to a police or something. I don't know.
But also the situations here that lead to people, mob offering, things like mob justice. But I think that's why now we have the law. If somebody has,
committed a crime, make
committed
sure he goes to jail, and
or he's literally taken to book by the authorities. But then, because of the anger and the people, also being aggressive, they decide, okay, before police do their thing, we will do ours.
Yeah,
and then it ends
and
up,
it's usually in areas where you find that criminal offenses are at the order of day, and people usually get frustrated around that area, and it's out of that particular frustration that they end up doing mob justice. But it's still not right, because law we need not to take law into our hands. But away from that, again, Sakwaf, in the festivities, there's a lot that happens. So I told you last week, I saw someone, or was it you, or I don't know if it was Val, I saw someone, a shop near my area, put up a Christmas tree already. I'm like, hey, you guy, umepeleka hii nini haraka sana, you're taking it too seriously.
The trauma. But anyways.
So things are up. But what's really, for you, what really is that indicator that, hey, truly indeed, tumeingia your season? What marks that indicator? Like,
for me,
tumeingia?
For me, already when I just scroll through social media, there's those adverts that starts, are you looking for a place to spend your holiday destination? Then Diani is a place to be. Those voiceovers and those things, they're already, and then it escalates kidogo with jingle bells, and then you see now, I think right now, half of the school-going children are home. So traffic starts to ease up kidogo. And sometimes when you're a person who works in the space like media, where they don't take holidays really early, especially for some specific roles, you find yourself niwe peke yako unaenda job amako kwa barabara, right? Ama you're jumping in a matatu. So there's always that, and it feels sadder. It feels sad.
It feels sad.
Saddest.
Why? It's supposed to be happiest.
Yeah, it gets sadder. And then those jingle bells, and then now people And then those relatives who are in the US, Qatar, Australia, they're coming back and people are going on a vacation. Now could top of, you know, especially if you're unable to. But I thank God at least on 15th of December is usually my birthday. And this year I'm going to be very intentional about it to celebrate it. Yeah, I will.
All right, at least that's something.
At least there's something there.
That's something good. I don't know why they're sad for you, the festivities, but at least that's something good for you.
Yeah.
For me, what really marks that we're getting into the festivities, one is Netflix. I've already started watching the Christmas movies because it's November and they're all out there. There's one I watched it called Let's Meet Next Christmas or something of that sort. I watch these Christmas movies and I usually know the storyline. It's usually the same every year, they're similar to each other, you know. It's usually on romance or wamepatana, or they were going for some vacation or something, or some work took them to a different city, and then there they find their prince charming, and then blah 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 blah.
Oh, these ones that they have Santa gave me a wish. Seriously, those are Zungu stuff.
But I love them.
Right here in Kenya, I can imagine. You know, you're telling your shosho, we have Santa na ametuleta sweetie. I'm like, hey, Santa only exists in Disneyland, not in Kenya.
You know?
But anyways, there's kids who still revere Santa, especially the school kids, yeah? They're like, Mommy, let's go to Westgate. Let's go to, I want to see Santa. And they get in their Bentley and they're there. And for you, kwa hapo unachunga ng'ombe tu kwa ushago pole pole, you know.
The kid in me still takes photos.
Life no balance.
No balance. But for me, the kid in me still takes photos. The fake Santas we have in the malls, because I'm usually with the kids, so like, let me take advantage because niko na watoto anyway. So yeah, so
mnapiga magoti hapo hivyo unakuta.
You know,
na mbochi. Mnapiga magoti hapo.
Yeah, yes. So these are some of the things, and for me it's just your body just gets into the holiday mood bila wewe kusema, yani you just get into that mood, unaona kwani hatufungi kazi, that kind of a thing. But we'll be here with you through these festivities because well, that's what we are here for. Now, Sakwa, I want us to take a short break and then we'll be back to talk about politics, because there's a lot that has been happening in that space here in Kenya and even maybe globally, because now we have Trump as the president. We're going to get some views from that, and we're going to be joined by our guest host. So you be with us at that time. So we take a short break and then we'll be right back.
Y254. Imagine.
Comando, wambie sisi ndo vipenzi komando. Komando, wambie sisi ndo vipenzi komando.
Inakuwaje? Ni kila Jumatatu kutokea saa 1 dakika 5 hadi 3:30. Ndio unafahamu sisi ni makomando wa Afrika Mashariki ambao tunakupa kipindi chenye mapozi, tunatazama na mapozi ya kwako. Wanasema kwamba you can call me Kenny at Kendrelbis. Wagwang. My name is DJ Kuch. Pale kwenye chiki na kupatia mziki zote za East Africa, old school, new school, zote ziko ndani. We can link up at DJ Kuch. Boom.
And of course with me, Kalandu Musimi, I'll be giving you all the entertaining stories in East Africa. Nitakuwa nikuambia nani amefanya nini, kwa nini na akiwa na nani.
Hatuagizi na mabosi, sisi wenyewe mabosi. Wanatobea mikosi, tunalindwa na sagodi pekee.
Ever want to give voice to be heard, your opinion to matter? chemichemi za uongo, stories za jaba ndo tingize ubongo, ndo bebe kawalitikiza kamongo.
What's up, everybody? Have you heard of Bounce Nation? We are the latest, most stand-up show in 254.
You know how we do each and every Tuesday, Thursday. Mad vibes, mad music. When you see this face, amazing vibes, pure niceness, mad music. Now always kumbuka wewe ndoko in full control.
I'm unavailable. They know they see me.
I go by the name Feeling Jean.
And I am the beat doctor, DJ Epic, straight out of Gas Chamber DJs. You know how we do.
Of course, catch us every single Tuesday and Thursday from 4 p.m. all the way to 7 p.m. for mad energy, good vibes, and interviews and interactions with your favorite celebrities.
Naomba nafasi mimi nicheze nawe, ateja karibu siniche kitoka. Oh yeah, atujua ni but tonight you could be my babe. Soga nambe inform imekubali excuse me.
Promise me, son, not to do the things I've done.
Kama umepewa sahau shida, kama umesota leo tupige makelele.
That is the energy that we are starting off. That whenever the energy is wrong, we beat it all out here at karaoke. The only show you get the opportunity to wear the courage of Omen. Look at the mic, hear through the eye, and get to unleash the inner rock star.
I am Lion Zion, yeah, I'm on the rise.
Every Saturday at 10 p.m. and I repeat on 6 p.m. Hey, with me, Professor Kamau, kijana aliye na uzoefu mithili ya shilingi kwa ya pili on your number one youth channel station Y254. Imagine!
Here on Power Talk Show, we handle conversations of current affairs that directly affect you. We do a deep dive on conversations that involve relationships, mental health, finances, and other trending issues. We also share stories of people who have faced adversaries and managed to overcome them.
I'm a person who tried committing suicide 3 times. Yes, before I reached class 7.
Tune in to Power Talk each and every Thursday at 7:10 p.m. and join in the conversation with me, Cheryl Blessing, using the hashtag PowerTalk.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Why in the Morning.
Where we talk entrepreneurship and finance with ultimate risk takers and game changers.
Give you insightful career advice.
Discuss women making an impact in the society.
As well as issues affecting men.
Health matters affecting the youth and politics, technology,
Not forgetting music and lifestyle.
And getting up close and personal with your favorite stars.
So make sure umetrosanyika na sisi.
Usanyika.
Shenye amesema.
Every weekday morning.
From 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
I start by the morning.
Hosa tekenywe.
Y254. Imagine.
And we are back. Thank you for staying with us. In case you're just joining us, you are on time for the political discussion between Brian Sakwa, myself, and we have been joined by our guest host, that is Manu. He likes to call himself the Burning Dollar. Achani kukaribisha Manu.
Asante Stephanie. Good morning Stephanie. Good morning Sakwa.
Morning to you.
It's a beautiful day actually. Before I even introduce myself, siku hii ya leo, siku ya Jumatatu tarehe 11 mwezi wa Novemba mwaka wa 2024 ni siku ambayo Mungu amekusudia. We see it, and it's a day that you'll never see again in your life. So no matter what you will go through today, be it good, be it bad, just know that it's a season. It's a life of seasons. Today you are up, tomorrow you are down, today you are in love, kesho umepigwa heartbreak. But hold it on to the hope that tomorrow will be great. Anyway, in the East they call me Dollar, in the West they call me Burning, but my name is Burning Dollar. But pia unaweza niita Emmanuel. Yeah. Back to you, Stefan.
Yeah, so Burning Dollar, you've been good. Awesome. So now, I want to throw you both into what has been happening in the political space. With me here is the People Daily, but we can sample everything and anything before we even get to it. So Trump won last week. Honestly, I didn't see it coming. I was rooting for Trump, but I didn't see him winning. And we were having that discussion with Saka. Saka, what did you make of it? Because you also are a Trump supporter before I get to money.
Yeah, I think it was difficult too. But the way it was portrayed with the Western media and the way, you know, I was watching The View, the cast of The View, all the hosts from the, you know, Whoopi Goldbergs and the rest, everything they were saying was in support of Kamala Harris. And I think they had sold out this narrative that it was time for a black woman president to take over America. And I think from judging also from the critics and the sentiments, a lot of people thought, and even the prophecies, I think there's one of the prophets who said, you know, it's Kamala. And so a lot of people bought into it. But let me tell you, after the results came out, the backlash and the name calling of false prophecy, I think it was just out of the proportion. But then I somehow knew, low-key, I somehow was feeling that Donald Trump is going to win. Because when you look at the messaging that, if you were to contrast and compare Kamala and Donald had already, you know, he had already space on ground. Like for him, it's like, oh, you're auditioning for this role in this movie? Okay, you're looking for a lead actor, but who has experience a little bit. In as much as, yes, you over there as well, you have experience, but at least you want someone who is mainstream, who has a face, a name, and a voice. And I think for that movie, Donald Trump is the leading actor, and he won. But then when you look at also the things that I feel through Kamala off the chain is her agenda and her manifesto. The things she is pushing for, and at such a season, most conservative people of the world are not, you know, pushing. But if you look at the American culture and the fiber, things like, you know, the abortion rights or the pro-choice, the LGBTQ transgender, you know, human rights thing, it's in American culture. It's part of their, you know, behaviors if you study closely, you know, part of their community. So I think her messaging was not clear in terms of her, you know, going to the media. But then she had a lot of endorsements, you know, people like Beyonce, you know, an R&B icon from the black community, Oprah Winfrey, a media icon, you know, former President Barack Obama, Michelle, former president who is black. Now you can add in Cardi B, you know, these people are known in the black community. But then the message is celebrities have no influence on election. I think that's also what I was checking out. I think it was Sunny Hostin from The View, and there's this chicken Ajita Candice Owens. She's saying celebrities have no influence anymore. But then the number of impressions, you can imagine if Beyonce endorses you, even just one tag from Beyonce is enough to turn up another country in terms of their social media impressions. But still, they never got it.
Imagine.
You know? So I think celebrities from now on, the lessons is that celebrities have no voice. But then Donald Trump is a powerhouse. He had Elon Musk on his side. And I think he went on Joe Rogan's podcast, and I hear it's the son who actually initiated that. And I think it's impressive. So the question is now that he's in office, what is there for us as Africans now, specifically Kenya? And we'll get to that. I'll tell you something. Yeah.
All right. Interesting. Because you've mentioned Elon Musk, and you know, I honestly think that he contributed greatly to his win, because Trump actually acknowledged him in his speech, and that did something to Elon Musk, because Elon Musk used his money, and that's why I think he's a billionaire and he's one of the richest in the world. He knows business, honestly. Right. So he used his money to help Trump in the elections, and that came back.
Yes,
doubled
and the social
up,
media now.
tripled
in
billions, more than what he invested. Because once Trump mentioned him, his what do you call it? I'm forgetting. the shares went all up.
Yeah, literally the
Boosted.
buyouts for Tesla, the Tesla cars.
Yeah.
I think they tripled. I saw CNN highlighting it.
It
in
went
one of
all
the
up.
shows.
So,
yes.
and that's the kind of business kind of
yeah.
thing. It's
This guy is winning. I'm sure the Jeff Bezos are just watching that, coming on top, number 5, 4. I'm sure they're just watching and they're waiting to see, you know. But then now he has the backing of a president. So he's a threat of a superpower country. I don't know.
It's interesting. What do you think? What do you think
Yeah.
about all this, Manu?
Yeah.
Elon Musk played a good game. Yeah, he really played a nice game, actually. I saw him in the celebration. He was with his 2 kids. He was really happy. And from what he did, apart from whatever he has just gained, right now he's a close friend of Trump, the president of the US. So I believe any project that Elon Musk is going to take,
Watasikizana.
anything that is going to do itakuwa sawa mkubwa vile umesema, "Oh, you want that, my friend? It's okay, you do it."
Yeah.
Robots next year, it's okay, you do it. So I believe that he really did a good move. And for Kamala, I'm really sorry for her. I really rooted for her. I wanted her to be the president because at least
Oh, I'm
I have a
sorry.
soft spot for women, and I believe that they are wanakwanga wapole and they rule nicely. They really care. Some,
Okay.
not all of them. And I thought she could be a mother, a black mother, Jamaican black mother from the African roots. But again, Trump, people love Trump. Americans love Trump. Yeah, and it was up to them.
Yeah, it was up to them. But now, what does this mean to us as Kenyans? Trump's when Kenyans have all been up on social media making some demands, and part of the demands or what they're saying online, especially on KOT, is that they don't want the ambassador Meghan. They don't want, they want the Kenyan police to be moved back to the country from Haiti, and they're looking forward to Trump actually doing that. But we also saw the president saying that he was on call with the president of the United States, Donald Trump, and they spoke of a partnership and all that. So what do you both make of it? Let me start with you.
Okay. Oh, you go first.
Actually, about our soldiers coming back from Haiti, I think Kenyans need to understand that apart from Trump being the new president of the US, he's not like God. You won't just call Ruto, bring your people back to Kenya. It goes past him. Because the UN is a group of countries, other presidents, and it was not the previous president who said, Biden, who told Ruto, take your people to Haiti. It's something deeper. It's something, he might have the influence to make them, to make Ruto bring back the police officers from Haiti, but he can't do it. He can't just decide it at a go. And then, as Kenyans, we are going to benefit a lot. I saw him say that he's going to ban abortion. I don't know if he's actually going to do it. Yeah, we're going to get a lot as Kenyans.
Who said he was going to ban?
Trump. I saw on a tweet.
Oh yeah. Because those are some of the things he was not supporting. He also said that he will stop the what they had been doing.
It's
in
called
terms of
gender affirming and reaffirming and reassignment.
Yes, the gender reassignment. That's the word I was looking for. So why would they tell a kid, oh, you are born in the wrong body? Why did you even start, honestly speaking? So that kind of a thing is going to be banned. And for him, he said he only recognizes 2 sex. That's male and female. Those are things that Trump supports. And, that's why he's saying. And Sakwa, so what do you think? What does this mean for Kenya?
I think it can be a big win, but when you look at Trump's persona, judging from his demeanor, I think he doesn't care. I don't think Trump can sit down and say, now let's call, if you were to compare the Biden and Kamala Harris, I think they had some sort of close tie with our president right here, and that's why they even, invited him for that, syndicated state visit. And then I believe the biggest thing we're benefiting from this is funding. Funding from, also the peacekeeping Haiti mission that initially supposed to be a United Nations project, but then this was done, I think, outside the pressings of, let's take initially Africa as a whole, but now the demographic Kenya, and send, soldiers there. So that means this money that's being pumped from the US to the Kenyan government, or specifically in that docket that was assigned to go there. So I believe when Trump comes into office, I've been watching CNN since Friday, just, in fact, all the low Trump has kicked someone. Trump is saying, you know, like everything. If you watch CNN right now, every conversation they're having is literally Trump. So I think when he comes into office, he's going to give it a facelift. But from the conversation I saw before I left the house, they're saying there's some people he's kicking out. There's some foreign policies that maybe are in alignment even with ending the war in Ukraine, which I think he believes he's going to end it. Things like, you know, climate funding that we benefit a lot, especially from Western countries, especially for us right here in Kenya. Now that we're just tapping into, you know, things like carbon credit, I think that's where we can benefit more because, you know, Trump is a businessman and Elon Musk is a businessman. So they're all about business. So I believe their relationship with Kenya or maybe African countries would be more of, okay, can we send their people to do industrialization other than can we take part of their soldiers to Haiti because Trump is a businessman, you know? So I think if you are to closely squint and observe, I think those are maybe the benefits. But like that, you know, friendship of, you know, come Kenya, and I saw how Kenyans are reacting to that hashtag. Recall, yeah, I think it was Resign McGuitman. The reason why Kenyans are saying that is because they feel like, man, sina lawyer, tafadhali, sina lawyer for now, especially kwa issue. But from the sentiments expressed is that they feel like, you know, this ambassador contributed to part of, you know, the issues that we are experiencing, especially when it came for her to add voice to the Gen Zs who were shot and killed, the 71 plus. She never said anything. You know, her being a representative of that country, she was supposed to play, you know, like at least a controller, you know, or just a person who was to calm down, even call the president too. You know, let's have a conversation. Why were police sent to shoot? CNN is filming live. Larry Madowo is there. Becky, it's happening. They're shooting us. You know, these videos are still on the internet. She never said anything. So I think from the rage and the reaction is she never helped Kenya and citizens especially. While they were even contesting for the finance bill, they knew very well the finance bill was a very contentious bill. And in fact, I was shocked when there's an article, it was written by Nation, I'll find it. They said, in fact, IMF knew that this finance bill would create a sort of buzz in the Kenyan demographic, but they still went ahead. I don't know. You remember they said the education funding model is an IMF model, so many, you know, cryptic things, yeah.
It's a lot, and you know, that's why Kenyans are finding the frustration and telling Trump, do something, but we get to see.
But I know he will do something.
What will happen, and I also know that green card might not be easy now because I know people are applying for green card now to go to the US. So I know he's not going to stop green card, but it might not be as easy as it would have been if it was probably not him in the seat. So, but all the best to all those that have applied for it.
But it's okay. Actually, he has been very vocal from his previous campaigns that about the blacks coming to. He doesn't love blacks. Okay, he loves blacks, but he doesn't adore them. How can I say that? Yeah, but he loves blacks. Okay, the Kenyans vacating their country, going to the US. And it's believed that when they go there, a lot of them engage in drug addicts, in gangs, and that's what he doesn't love. He doesn't love the gangs. Actually, I saw on his campaign, he was very calm and he was like, your streets will be safer, your groceries will be cheap. So he doesn't love the gang in the streets, the unsafeness. So, and I believe that he's going to change that. And about the Ukraine, he's going to end that war because he said that he will stop the funding from the US, the Ukraine. And that's going to have a very great impact on the war. Definitely. Without the US support, Ukraine will not be in a good place to fight Russia.
But will Russia be in a good place to fight Ukraine?
Yeah, Russia is a superpower.
So does that really help?
It will force the Ukrainian president to come into terms with the Russian president because you can't fight a war that you can't win.
Yeah. Okay. So we wait and see how that will turn out because things are usually you know, shaky and
before you forget about
really quick.
About the ambassador, I think Kenyans were throwing stones at the wrong person. Okay, she never helped us, but it was not her fight.
No, people hold you accountable because when you speak on certain matters and don't speak on others, then people feel that you're not for them. You know, so I think that's where Kenyans are. You know, you something would come up and you'd speak against it. How many ambassadors do we have in Kenya? No, we're talking about a country that's a superpower that has a very good influence. So we can't expect the Liberian ambassador to come and talk. You know, there's a certain power that US has, and that's why everyone is talking about the US election. Why?
But it was live. She didn't need to go and tell Biden. Biden saw it on the screens. It was live everywhere. People saw it on CNN. Kenyans are being killed. I think she's going to lose her job maybe just for something that she could have done nothing.
But I don't think she will lose her job. She might just be reassigned to something else. And that's the thing, you know, how their laws work and ours different. But I don't think she will lose her job. She will not just be in Kenya, if at all that goes through. Moving away from, but before that, because I saw, you know, Trump's life was also at risk. There's been many attempts on his life. So now what I saw on BBC is that now he has some security. And you'd think that it's security, manned security. It's actually not manned. These are robotic dogs. Like, I saw robotic dogs and I was like, what is this? Is this Elon Musk? Is this you?
Elon Musk security.
Because I saw robotic dogs and those are security dogs. And there's sort of a ship. I think it has some technology, you know, surveying the area. And you will know that he's in power now. You just can't get to him. So that's that's something on his security, because I was wondering, will he still be safe even as a president? Because
that's impressive.
For someone who wanted him out, they will still want him out as a president. So
he's now safer. He's now in charge of the battles. Because I can imagine if Kamala would have been president, as in tungepumua the feminists wangekuwa saizi Steph sijui kila mtu angekuwa na billboard hii town. Because the celebrities, but then what I love about Kamala is at least she accepted, you know, I think that's what also trended right here in Kenya. She conceded and said, we don't fight, you know, an election that we've already lost. We concede it and we peacefully allow the next person to assume office. And then she said she'll facilitate peaceful transition of power to, you know, Donald Trump. But this Wednesday, I think Donald Trump is meeting Biden. I think it will be televised as well on CNN. So they have a meetup one-on-one Wednesday. I think their Wednesday is Thursday here. So they'll be meeting up one-on-one to have a conversation on, you know, congratulations, you made it again. Welcome back to my set.
Like, I didn't want you to win, but you have won.
Yeah.
You know, I'm imagining that
But I'm sure Biden is numb. Kama sasa hata kuklap peke yake memsinda. Nakumbuka ile day Juneteenth, they are busy dancing the R&B songs, you know, the Beyoncés and everything, and Kirk Franklin, ako tu hapo tu still, tu kama robot. I'm sure he'll just welcome back. Yeah.
But plus, I saw Trump was very honest that he doesn't want. Actually, I saw him with a garbage truck in Washington. Said this garbage truck is on honor of Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. Wow. A garbage truck, a clean one, a new one.
Hey, politics is everywhere. It's everywhere, and things are happening real fast. So moving away from what's happening in the global space to right here. Now we have KCSE exams going on, and on People Daily, the front page, this is what it has written: fears over exam transport crisis. So this is the crisis. Petroleum dealers threaten not to fuel vehicles ferrying papers after state fails to honor its side of the bargain. Now, what are this? Why would the state not fuel? And they know, like, is it not planned ahead?
Yeah.
You know, that the exams are this and that. We need fuel for this and this day. This is the amount. Like, why does it always seem like the state is unprepared for such important matters? And it's not just this. Even in other areas, you know, watu wengine wanagopanga tenda ya government juu aujui utalipwa lini. You know, it's all good for people who try to get these tenders and contracts for the state, and then, you know, getting the money now is the problem. It might take a year. You will get the money, but it will take so long. So do we need to do something about it? What do you guys think?
Actually, I believe that the state gives the funds on time, but now the hierarchy. Unaona ile ya itoke huko juu hadi kufikie. In between there, people have to create schemes on how they will steal before ifike to the county government, from the county to the up to the constituencies, maybe to the CDF. A lot of people need to steal, so they need to take money in order to steal that money. And I believe that the government gives fund. The KCSE was planned in advance, so the funds, I believe that they were given in advance. But now the hierarchy. By the time if you your driver pale kwa petrol station, a lot of people need their shares. And a lot of people there now, the link comes there. Now wanaekelea the state, but in real sense, it's these officials in between that have been employed by the state.
But in this case, I don't really feel it's a matter of corruption, because it's not, let me just read this. Petroleum dealers threaten not to fuel vehicles, filing papers after state fails to honor its side of the bargain. Okay, maybe it could be that, but how I'm feeling about it is that, you know, it's the same thing as what happens during teacher strike. They have signed a deal, and the state is supposed to maybe have done a deposit of this amount by this time, so that, you know, we do this. So for me, that's what I'm thinking. They were supposed to remit some certain amount of money so that if they facilitate the transportation, the fueling, because it's straight, you know, once it's approved, it's straight. It doesn't go through or what, because it's not the drivers who are asking for money. It's the people who are fueling it. So it's the organization themselves that are asking for this money. So I think there's some delay, and what is causing that is what I don't understand, because why was it planned earlier? But what do you think about it,
It's unfortunate, really, stuff, because also when you look at these exams need to be delivered in these places really fast and on time, and when there's such a hitch, I think it even inconveniences the students themselves and even the teachers. But like you're saying, if they had a certain bargain agreement, then fulfilling it should be fulfilled promptly on time. And I think this is some of the issues that you know, people in Gava experience. Like even the lecturers and even the doctors. I think lecturers are still on strike as we speak. Doctors are going on strike, I think, by next week, because they feel like there's a collective bargain agreement that was never again fulfilled, or fulfilled fully, maybe a quarter of it, but not yet fulfilled. So really testing and trying times for people in Gava.
It's quite something, but we'll see how that goes. We hope that KCSE watamaliza in one piece, because all you want when you get into form 4 ni umalizane. Once the exams umalize, when the home usahau your story, ungoja next year after a long holiday then we get campus. Man, that feeling I don't know if I if I'd want to get back to that. Moving from that, Raila, so the former premier, Raila, has said, according to this newspaper, I'm in the race for the AU job as an African lion. So, so he is telling Kenyans that he was in the race for the African Union Commission chairman seat as an African lion and brave enough to face any of his challengers. So, what do you guys think? Because he was being launched. It was interesting, that caption. Raila being launched as the AUC chairperson representing Kenya. What do you all feel about it? The African lion, as he has called himself. Do you see him?
You see the African lion, for real?
He did. He's called himself the African lion.
Yeah.
Do you see him taking this position, especially from the kind of feedback he's gotten from Kenyans? But not just that.
Right.
It's not, okay, Kenyans might have some mixed reactions on that, but also in this paper, it's written, Raila's quest gets cross-party support. So the AUC chairperson election will be held in February 2025. It's almost here. My goodness, the days have passed. 4 candidates are seeking to replace the current chairperson, Moussa Faki. So Raila is one of those that are contesting for this seat. And stakes are also high for the Djibouti, the Djibouti representative.
Yes.
So I don't know what you guys
Yeah.
think about it.
Is he winning? I think the question is he gonna be the brand
Chairperson.
to bear, the winning position? From the support he's received right here in Kenya, I think that already has given him at least some sort of leverage. But then from the reactions and what netizens are doing online is that they're voting for that other guy. So, but let me just take you through some of his, because I believe if you are to contest for that chair, you have at least to have a manifesto. So Raila's manifesto is, and plus many others, is agricultural transformation for Africa, climate action, then harnessing youth potential in digital transformation, and then regional peace and security. These are really, yes, they're needed in Africa, but I think we have bigger issues. Yes, agricultural transformation is a good thing. Climate action is really fantastic because we are just now morphing into things like, carbon credit, green sector, green economy, jobs, and, we are having an outburst of activists coming up to, advocate for climate change. But in terms of him being a syndicated personality for that post, I think it's a wishy-washy, vote. But he might win. You never know, because also it's politics. It's politics, I believe. But I think from what people are saying online, I don't think, because I even saw a photo saying rejected. In fact, it was his photo and then the word rejected on it. So 50-50. But I don't think he's winning, according to me.
So 50-50, highly likely that he won't win from Sakwa.
Yeah.
What about you, Manu? What are your thoughts?
So first, I love Baba. I wish him well because he's a Kenyan, and definitely as a Kenyan, I would love to see him be the Simba of the AUC because we will benefit definitely. But again, he's used to home politics, like Kenyan politics. He's not used to. Actually, I saw his speech. You see the way we are used to him, Baba speaking, Minataka, the way he speaks, and the way he delivered his speech in Ethiopia the other day. I believe that that's not in AUC. It may not favor him that much, as we love the way he speaks and the way he delivers his speech. But I believe, what can I say? Can I say that he's my grandfather, let me say that, and I believe that he should just retire in politics and rest. He might not win, because the guy from Djibouti is used to outside politics, unlike Baba, home politics. So the stakes are not really high, but it's nice. I would love to see him win, maybe finally at least, something out of it, out of the political game.
Oh, you're going to cowboy, at least a part I took it because he's been. But he might win, because you never know. Yes, he's faced some backlash from Kenyans, especially Gen Z, because they felt betrayed by Baba, who was with them until he got some shares in government, and boom, that's how the broad-based government was formed, and people felt betrayed, and that's the main reason why there's that sort of backlash for him. But again, Kenyans are not the ones voting, so it's these leaders that will vote. So maybe you might just take it. Who knows? The thing is that we'll have to wait until February to find out who won, and if he doesn't win, will he get a position in government again?
Yeah.
Will he have some stakes? Because we know Baba, he doesn't just sit. There's always something for him. Yeah. And speaking of which, his party, that is the Orange Democratic Party, has suffered a bit, especially because people have been saying, now we don't have an opposition, so who will become the opposition leader, and all that, because now it feels like he's part of the government. And so his party, even before that, had a little bit of some wrangles here and there, when some were almost joining government, and it was back and forth and all that. And even now, when they formed the broad-based government, people felt that there's no power again in the opposition, and ODM has been the opposition, being led by Raila Odinga himself. So now we are almost seeing a change, or a change that is trying to be done, from how I'm seeing it in this particular party, because now I'm almost saying that they are recruiting people into ODM to try and make it great again, with the current leader being Gladys Wanga. You know, and I just saw Casmo, and I thought, oh wow. Now, is he a sellout? Is he someone who's just very very strategic with his political game? Now, what do you guys make of it?
Yeah, I think it's interesting. But then I was looking at the reactions. I think, yes, when Kasmuel was addressing the crowd, I think he was also given a chance to address in the presence of Gladys Wanga. And a lot of people were saying, they were saying betrayer. Another one said, we deplatformed you, we don't want you. But then he was talking about young people being recruited into some of these political parties. And I saw somebody reacting and saying that it was necessary for people like Kasmuel Makori. Who else? It's necessary for people like Morara Kebasu. Who else has been vocal, who is on the line, on the front line, for them to at least affiliate themselves with a political party, because that will gives them some sort of like a vehicle or an identity in terms of their political standing. Yeah. So, but I think the red flag is the political party that he's affiliating himself with it bears a brand of, I'd say, betrayal, in a sense that, like you just said, when the Gen Zs are being shot and killed, and then all of a sudden they formed a broad-based government, it means that they've been absorbed into the facility or the instrument that hurt them, right, or that harmed the netizens. So Kenyans still felt betrayed, and when they saw Kasmuel taking a photo with even Raila Odinga, they were like, okay, now you're just part of them. We just knew it was a matter of time. But then we've also even seen people like Morara Kebaso. People are saying, oh, they are compromised. In fact, they're not even working for the state. And the people who are vocal, some of them went silent. We've seen people like Maverick Kaoko, she disappeared. She's on and off, like a lot of explosiveness left, right, and center. But then I think if they were to have a position of, let's say, opposition, I think Babu Owino is coming up really, strong, in as much as he doesn't have that, I'd say, syndicated support. But Babu Owino, I saw in one of the crowd's reaction where Millie Odhiambo, but then she reacted on Kamala Harris losing election, and she spoke in that American accent. It was really funny, yeah. They were addressing the crowd, and people are literally vouching for Babu Owino. So I think it's interesting. But then when you look at it, the other side, there's Kalonzo Musyoka. He says they're going to go to the streets, because I hear there's potentially some parts of the, rejected finance bill that are being, resuscitated, including, expanding the tax base, returning some of the facets of it that were not, highly recommended by Kenyans before even 25th of June. So I think in terms of forming an opposition vehicle, maybe Babu Owino should join Kalonzo Musyoka and then DAPK leader, that is Eugene Wamalwa, so that at least we have a strong opposition voice that can, get the government in check. But then most of the faces are in and out. You've seen even Millie saying, you know what, ODM is not part of the government. I think I saw that in the bite that played out yesterday. So I think right now the opposition, grounding is not that solid and resolute in terms of their prominence and their voice and their input. It's like one day there's somebody being bought, or another person has joined this other side, and another one is exiting. So it's a weak kind of, opposition structure.
It's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you say, Manu?
So I believe that first we don't have an opposition, and as Kasmuel was saying, yeah, it's true, these young coming up politicians, they need to belong to a home, they need to belong to a political party. But ODM, when you talk of ODM, you think of Baba, right? When you talk of Jubilee, you think of Uhuru Kenyatta. So how can you tell people, Kasmuel was telling people that if they are thinking of a political party to join, they should consider ODM. How can you tell them to consider ODM? These people are fighting for the Gen Zs who were killed because of the finance bill, that the ODM party leader, the person who really brought ODM to where it is today is Raila Amolo Odinga, and is in government. And now you're telling the same people who are fighting the government to join the government, because Kasmuel is telling the young people to join ODM. It's like joining just the government. And so I believe we don't have an opposition in Kenya right now. But Kalonzo, if the way Sakwa said, if Babu Owino can join Kalonzo, Kasmuel Kasmuel is already gone. Maybe Morara Morara join Kalonzo, and then maybe we'll have an opposition. But I think it's, this for ODM and Kasmuel, they're just trying to buy the Gen Zs to bring them into the government. Unaingilia ODM mlango ya nyuma.
Na kuna game inachezwa.
Game fulani unaingilia mlango ya nyuma unajipata sitting room.
Nilifikaje hapa. All right, okay, interesting. So there's a lot, and you know, it keeps changing every day. That's the beauty about politics. It's one day in politics is like a thousand days, so a lot can happen in just one day. Today we see Kasmuel there, tomorrow he will be speaking against ODM. You know, today we see someone there, tomorrow we'll be seeing someone on the other side. So that's politics for us. Now, about Shah, you know, the president, you know, was doing a tour, and he talked about Shah, but I'll look into what has been mentioned here, which I have just lost for some reason. But basically, the president was urging people to register for Shah, and some people actually with the president, is it in Kakamega or somewhere, and then he got really mad, and you know, I would say he got mad, that's just me saying, from how he responded to them, but he asked the men when they're giving birth or something. So that was quite something. I don't know if I can get it right here. Yeah, so President Ruto angry at Kakamega residents after they opposed Schiff during his speech in Kakamega, na alisema wewe mwanaume unapiga kelele kuhusu Schiff, utapata mimba siku gani? And then that was from the president. So just that, comparing it to a news that I've seen in Nigeria. Nigeria, one of the African countries. So the Nigerian government announces a free cesarean section for all pregnant women in need. So this is something that's not, I don't know, Shah says that it helps, you know, pregnant women in this area, but for cesarean section, it doesn't cover as much, you know, with Schiff, and it depends. It's the same money being given for those that are being covered in public hospitals, same as those that are in private hospitals. So if it's 30, that's the cap, then 30 will also apply even if you're going to whatever private hospital that you'd be in. So what do you think of this? And even with that, will that encourage more women in Nigeria to have cesarean section? Can the same be applied in Kenya?
I wish, you know, I wish that, but I think that's good news, Steph, because also I think cesarean section is an alternative too, and you know, a mother who is just about to deliver is experiencing complications, especially when she has to deliver directly through the birth canal. I wish that would have happened, you know, right here in Kenya. But then the Schiff and Shah backlash, Steph, I think I saw one of the council, I think it should be from NCIC. They had a closed door meeting, and then they came up with a final agreement and said they should abandon, you know, they called on the president to recall Schiff or Shah, because there's patients who can't even, you know, afford, you know, that part of contribution that it's required for. So they're requesting and calling on the government to, you know, recall Schiff. And also I think they also did a petition, I think, to one of the courts to ensure that, you know, at least they look into the matter. So I think in one of the news headlines, they were like, religious leaders reject Schiff. Yeah, so I think that sends a message, but I'm sure that message will not, you know, received to the person who's supposed to see, because these are the religious leaders, and you know, you've just seen what has happened to, you know, my uncle. You remember my uncle who's just exited office. In my head, not in real life, he's my uncle in my head as a friend. So I think it's testing and trying. You know, it's very testing and trying times. But then I think when you look at the way, you know, we saw the other day at Mama Lucy, deplorable condition. You know, mothers are sleeping on the floor. You know, they're paid for the beds, but then they're not able to receive the service. It's deplorable and horrible. Yeah, I don't know what you think.
Actually, what I think, first, I love Kenyans who are starting being petty. first, Sha is working actually. A cousin of mine, she's in hospital. She actually underwent surgery. So far so good, we have not paid even a single cent. Ako si kwa kitanda vizuri pale. So Sha is working. Sha is really working. Okay. On the ground it's working. On the internet, a lot of people, the opposition or people just, Kenyans, kuna Wakenya tu wanapenda tu moshene, wanapenda tu kuwa negative. Yeah. So people may talk a lot on the internet, but on the ground, there might be delays, but Sha is working.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
and
for you,
for me it's working, but on the part of the Syrian being covered, I think maybe they might have forgotten it, but it should be covered, because what's the whole point then? Because that's something that you are prepared for. Mbono cover this, other people will get accidents for surgeries. You can't cover for our mothers, because that's something they will give birth, definitely. That's something that it will be there. So I think peer government, yache kutupima, because this is something you are expecting. These people you are covering for accidents, it's not, some people live a whole lifetime without getting a single accident, without going to the hospital to get a surgery. So I think it should cover these things that we expect more than the things that we won't expect. And for the churches, I think it was the Catholics. And it's because Sha is not covering the Catholic hospitals. So it's just politics, mbona COCC, mbona hatujako included. But the government is trying, but it should include our mother, should try hard, I believe. We deserve it as Kenyans.
Okay, so man who has spoken for the government.
Left.
No, all right, he said to you, but it is fine as well. That's where we put close on this particular conversation, but we'll be coming up with more. So let me allow you to tell us where people can get you on your socials. Burning Dollar, let me start with you.
It's burning_dollar, all social media platforms, burning_dollar. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. And then at Brian Sakona 1 at 9 a.m., we'll be coming up with a conversation on redefining success. So you don't want to miss it at Brian Sakona 1.
All right. So we take a short break. We'll be right back with more.
Say bye-bye to FOMO, the fear of missing out, by downloading the KBC online app that gives you access to everything you love. Get the latest news, sports, music, entertainment news, live TV, live radio, and so much more at the palm of your hands. To get the app, simply search KBC Mobile Digital app in your Google Play or App Store and download the app. Catch what you want, anytime, anywhere. Stay connected. Stay ahead with KBC Mobile Digital app.
Comando, wambie sisi ndo vipenzi komando. Komando, wambie sisi ndo vipenzi komando.
Inakuwaje? Ni kila Jumatatu kutokea saa 1:05 hadi 3:30. Ndio unafahamu sisi ni makomando wa Afrika Mashariki ambao tunakupa kipindi chenye mapozi. Tunatazama na mapozi ya kwako. Wanasema kwamba you can call me Kenny at Kenrelby.
Wagwang. My name is DJ Kuch. Pale kwenye chiki na kupatia mziki zote za East Africa, old school, new school, zote ziko ndani. We can link up at DJ Kuch. Boom.
And of course with me, Kalondu Musimi, I'll be giving you all the entertaining stories in East Africa. Nitakuwa nikuambia nani amefanya nini, kwa nini na akiwa na nani.
Hatuagizi na mabosi, sisi wenyewe mabosi. Wanatobea mikosi, tunalindwa na sagodi pekee.
Ever wanted your voice to be heard, your opinion to matter? Where else if not here on Unfinished, where we focus on matters related to business, politics, entertainment, name it all. Join us every Saturday at 7 p.m. on Y254 Unfinished, because this is the only place where we get to finish matters.
Chemi za uongo, stories za jaba ndo tingize ubongo, ndo bebe kawale tikiza kamongo.
What's up everybody? Have you heard of Bones Nation? We are the latest most stand-up show in 254.
You know how we do each and every Tuesday, Thursday. Mad vibes, mad music. When you see this face, amazing vibes, pure niceness, mad music. Now always kumbuka wewe ndoko in full control.
I'm unavailable. They know they see me.
I go by the name Feeling Jean.
And I am the beat doctor DJ Epic, straight out of Gas Chamber DJs. You know how we do.
Of course, catch us every single Tuesday and Thursday from 4 p.m. all the way to 7 p.m. for mad energy, good vibes, and interviews and interactions with your favorite celebrities. Are you a talented artist? Or are you passionate about a topic you want to discuss? But money can be very hard to find for an upcoming artist. Don't worry, Studio Mashinani has got your back. Sign up on ajira.co.ke to book a session with your music and video producers across the country. Work on your music, jingles, spoken words, and even podcasts to realize your dream. All for free. Studio Mashinani, Radani Talent.
The young generation awakens on Y254, the leading youth TV station in Kenya. We treat you to current affairs, entrepreneurship, health, and human interest conversations.
It's art, it's culture.
Movies, gossip and trends, sports,
Drama.
We bring you a vibe like no other, straight to your living room.
To keep you informed, inspired, entertained,
and most of all, refreshed.
We are such a vibe.
Y254. Imagine.
Here on Power Talk Show, we handle conversations of current affairs that directly affect you. We do a deep dive on conversations that involve relationships, mental health, finances, and other trending issues. We also share stories of people who have faced adversaries and managed to overcome them.
I'm a person who tried committing suicide 3 times. Yes, before I reached class 7.
Tune in to Power Talk each and every Thursday at 7:10 p.m. and join in the conversation with me, Cheryl Blessing, using the hashtag PowerTalk.
Shining in the setting sun like a pearl upon the ocean. Come and feel me, oh feel me.
पीलूं है पीने का मौसम तेरे संग इश्क तारी है
Y254. Imagine.
What's up, beautiful people? It's your host with the most, Muna Joy.
And your DJ Faro the Finisher. Catch us every Friday from 6 p.m. mpaka saa 2 usiku on Tano Kali Show.
Right here on Kenya's #1 channel, Y254.
Oh yeah, baby Jamboree. I like the way we gone, buddy.
We're going to be giving you hot trending topics that are happening on social media platforms. We will also be interviewing hella talented artists on the show as well.
Kama kawaida, I'll be here to give you the best mixes. Alafu sahau pia kuna top 5 hits of the week.
All right, see you then.
Like I never loved me in my life. So love me like you never loved me.
天上的云彩是黑哈流呀，嘿呀嘿哈流，嘿呦嘿哈流。那个地上的呀雨点儿的呀流。
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to Why in the Morning.
Where we talk entrepreneurship and finance with ultimate risk takers and game changers.
Give you insightful career advice.
Discuss women making an impact in the society.
As well as issues affecting men.
Health matters affecting the youth.
Youth and politics.
Technology.
Not forgetting music and lifestyle.
And getting up close and personal with your favorite stars. So make sure umetrosanyika na sisi.
Usanyika.
Chenye amesema.
Every weekday morning.
From 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
I start by the morning.
Hosa tekenywe.
Okane kasegu, orera wa star. Okane kasegu.
This week on The Buzz, we have so much in store for you.
Nipange maneno ya bashi kidogo. Namna hii namna ile. Napana na hapa.
Tommy D. Jones tells us why he made the switch from secular music to gospel.
Gara mjini voi, hali likuwa sivyo, sivyo, sivyo.
Megan Thee Stallion has a new documentary out and we have all the details.
I'm having fun right now and I don't want to do it. And I feel like, how could I be Megan Thee Stallion and I'm not having fun?
We highlight the life story of actor Tom Hardy.
The wicked character. He's got dark tones and
Find out why Josh Wonder is the talk of town. Let's catch up on Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. with me, Eve Nyaga, for this and more.
Star. Okane kasegu, orera.
Y254. Imagine.
All right, and we are back with the first conversation of the day. Thank you for staying with us. If you're just joining us, you are on time for a great conversation that will be very beneficial to you. Joining us for a conversation on building a growth-oriented career is one Curtis Marvin. He is the Chief Operating Officer at Windsor Brokers and has had a successful career over the years and is going to give us the tips from his journey. You're most welcome, Curtis.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having
Glad
me.
to have you. Awesome. So let's start with you. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're doing.
Okay. My name is Curtis Marvin. As you mentioned, I work at Windsor Brokers. And Windsor Brokers is a brokerage firm that gives you the platform to trade on different financial assets. Within Kenya, we are regulated by the Capital Markets Authority, and this multinational company also has a global presence. So basically what we do is we give you these financial assets, e.g. Currency trading, stocks, equities, indices, commodities. So these are online assets that you can speculate the price of, for example, currency, one price against the other. So basically at Windsor Brokers, which is a regulated entity within Kenya, those are the kind of services we offer to the people who are willing to venture into this kind of financial market.
Okay, so it's not just Forex, it's different kind of trading that you facilitate?
Forex is just one of the assets that we offer, currency trading, also known as currency trading. As I've mentioned, we also have other assets, other financial assets such as indices, stocks, equities, and stocks such as international stocks as well. So this we offer in our platform. So any person who is ready and willing to venture, they come, register an account with Windsor Brokers. We do a KYC on them. Once they pass the appropriateness test, which we also have to know if you actually really you really know how to trade.
Okay.
So yeah, basically that's it.
All right, great. That's quite something. And now, for you as a person, you have had some great growth in your career. Talk of how you started. Was it as an aisle attendant to now having such a senior position in such a great organization? How has that been for you? How has your journey of growth been like?
I would say the growth from where I sit is a very interesting one. Nice, and the journey has not been as smooth as people may think. Yes, I started as an aisle attendant. That was just immediately after my Form 4, and I decided to go out there and look for something that I can do. And this was amazing. Getting my first check was the greatest thing.
Can imagine.
Yeah.
And for those that don't know who an aisle attendant is, maybe you can explain better.
Let me use the language that probably they might understand.
Yeah.
Shelf attendant. So, for example, you walk into a supermarket, those people who you ask questions, you find them standing by the aisle.
Exactly.
So that is the kind of job I was doing.
Wow. From that to a COO now.
Yes.
How was that like? Like, you know, and you still look young enough. You know, that's a span of how many years?
The last 10 years.
Give it 10 years. Wow. And you've been able to grow that much. That's quite something. So what did you put in your journey for you to get to that position where you got your first check to where you got to be a COO?
So basically what I would say is that I was one young man who was sending himself out so much. I'd like to say that I was a hustler. I was hustling. I just wanted to have my own money. And then now jumping from the aisle attendant into now the entertainment industry, which I stayed for about 3 years, was, I think, the game changer for me at that point. Because now, at this point, I was networking with a lot of people. One thing about me, I think I'm very social. I'm a social human being. So when I meet you, I tend to network with you and just try and get to learn from you. So I think it's through this social ecosystem that I developed the courage to keep on looking for opportunities. And some people might think that it's difficult. I would say, yes, the journey there is not very easy, but if you focus on whatever you're doing, then you'll get there. So immediately after the entertainment industry, now I got into the kind of industry I am, which has been way over 6 years now. In the financial markets, in the financial industry. I've worked with a couple of brokerage firms. And then now finally I've landed myself at Windsor Brokers, where I'm really liking it in terms of the culture, the ethics, you might name them, all of them. Yeah.
Okay. Wow, that's quite interesting. From your journey, I'm being that you move from different, from entertainment to now in the financial side. Those are two different industries, completely different things. So, because some people feel stuck in careers and they want to switch careers and they're wondering, how do I get to that? How does that even happen in this country? You know, how possible is that? And even from the networking bit, some people have a problem with networking. How do you really create networks? How do you maintain networks? And how do you make sure that they work for you? Let's start with that.
First and foremost, I think creating a rapport is the most important thing. And networking is not just about sitting with people and then having fun. It's the kind of leading questions you ask the people you're networking with that could get you to the position that every young person is yearning to have in their career growth. So basically, if you build a rapport with the people and then ask the right questions, you'll find yourself actually climbing up the ladder. And sometimes these opportunities that people get, they don't get them because they're qualified. They actually get them because they have the opportunity and the best interest of themselves to know how to talk to the people that they're looking forward to, like their mentors, or even actually getting opportunities from. Yeah.
Okay. So how do you make, and I want the details of it. How do you, okay, creating a rapport, just having a good conversation, right? But how do you ask, what are some of the right questions? Let's say I meet you as the COO of Windsor. Now, what kind of questions should I ask you that are really important?
First of all, when you're talking to someone, you need to check their attitude, their willingness to actually do that opportunity they're looking for. Once you see the attitude, skills can be taught. That's what I understand. First of all, it's the attitude. And then when you sit down with someone, the way they talk to you in terms of how they're yearning to have this job. So I'm really yearning to have this job. And the kind of things that I speak to you is, give me this opportunity. I know I'm not qualified, okay? Because they are qualified in terms of they've gone through the education and everything, but the industry they're coming into is totally new. So this is what I normally say, give me the opportunity, teach me on how to do it, and I'll do it.
Okay.
So those are the kind of things I tend to look at.
All right.
Yeah,
So
especially when I'm interacting with candidates, if I have the opportunity to.
So that's
Yes.
the attitude. And in another forum, they were also saying just the same thing that you've said. Attitude is very important because skills you can teach, but a bad attitude you can't work with. It's impossible to go around. So now switching careers. Is it something fast before you tell us how to do it? Is it something that you'd advise for someone?
Honestly speaking, you only get skills if you move to the next opportunity. Because there comes a point in life where the graph is now stagnant and it cannot continue going on upward trajectory. So I would advise that if you're going to get to the next opportunity in terms of your career advancement, go there if you feel like where you are currently, you're not making use or not growing or something like that. I'm saying this confidently because we human beings, all of us are yearning to grow at some point in time. So if you feel like you're not growing there, you move to the next one. It's okay.
Okay.
Yes.
So as long as you're feeling you're stagnant, then that's enough for you to...
Not really stagnant. Maybe you also want to experience other opportunities in terms of advancing your skills. You know, I might be here. Currently, I'm working for Windsor Brokers, just the same way you mentioned. I feel like I'm in a position where my career, currently, I'm growing as well. And I don't think the position that I'm holding at the company, there's another bigger position I could hold somewhere. All I need to do now is just advance my skills, sharpen my wits, and everything. Yeah.
Okay. So it's a matter of you want to grow your skills. What about for someone who's feeling stagnant? Is it also a right cue for you to look for something else? Or is it an indicator that you need to maybe upskill in the same career that you're in?
Well, getting stagnant is relative. So if you personally, for example, let me use you as an example. If you feel like you're stagnant, what are some of the factors that are making you think you're stagnant? Probably you're not stagnant. Probably you're just having a burnout.
Okay.
You could just need some vacation and then come back rejuvenated. Yeah.
Okay. So now, what would being stagnant really look like, or really qualify to feel like I am stagnant in this career that I've been in? Because I know for sure for some people who have had, let's say, a certain position for, give it, let's say 8 years, right? And other people have been coming and they're climbing the ladder, yet you still remain at the same position for 8 years. Now, that person will feel they're stagnating, nothing is happening. The same salary that they were getting 8 years ago is still the same thing. The economy has changed, things have changed, yet you're still in the same place. Now, is that a person who's stagnant, and do they need to do so? What do they need to do?
Then I will throw back that question to them. Have you put in the work to ensure that you're not stagnant at that position? Now you've talked about salaries and all that stuff, people coming and passing them. Then the question comes back to them, what is it that I'm not doing right? I need to do something right.
Okay.
Because they might be in that organization for 20 years and they're stuck in the same position. We have a couple of people, so many people who are experiencing that. So the question they need to do is ask them themselves those questions.
So what?
And then work on it. Yeah.
What do they need to do different and work on it? What if they're just in an organization that's not really offering them growth opportunities?
most organization now, for example, Windsor Brokers, where I work, we've given our employees the opportunity to become very innovative, and we always look for the best interest of our employees. So I don't know about other organizations because I don't think I've experienced that.
In
Yes.
your where you've so
Yes.
you have had a good path at least. That's something. Now, for those that really want to just change careers because they want to scale up and try different things as you did. Now, how do you go about that from entertainment to and a career in the financial sector or different things really? How do you get to that?
Funny enough, how I got into this industry, I went out some night because I was in the entertainment industry. And then I met these investors who are coming into the country for the first time opening shop. And then when I told you it's all about the networking and then the networking that you do, that is what happened. And then it was so complicated for me at first, but since I'm a go-getter, I decided to give it a shot.
Okay.
And when I gave it a shot, the first 3 or 4 months was not very easy. But you see, time actually makes sense. After some time,
It made sense.
it made sense to me.
So for you,
And I liked it.
So for you, you asked for the opportunity to learn. It's for just how you said it. They give you the opportunity to learn, and you will learn, and that's how you got into the space.
Yes.
So how has it been for you over the years? It's 6 years now. How has it been for you over the years, seeing growth and everything? What did you put in? What kind of work did you put in to make sure that you have grown?
First of all, when I was given the opportunity, I decided that I'm going to do this because I already stepped from another industry to this, and there's no going back. Now, for example, let me use an example. Working at Windsor Brokers currently, it is how I wake up every morning and have that vision and mission. Of course, the things that are part of the company, just to ensure that the company meets its long-term and short-term goals. For me, that is very important because when my employee is happy, I'm happy. So the industry, it is an industry that also we need to move with a lot of caution, in the sense that before anyone gets into this kind of market, they actually really need to know what they're getting into. Because these are leverage products, it's high risk, and you are required to understand the risk before you actually come and get into this type of market. So during this period, I'm happy to say that, especially at Windsor Brokers, we've been part of so many people's lives in terms of educating them, training them, and making them have the opportunity to know this type of market.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, just to speak of what you do at Windsor Brokers, what sort of investment opportunities are you providing for the youth?
Okay. So as I've said, at Windsor Brokers, we give you the platform. So the kind of license that we hold in Kenya is an undealing. It means we do not actually trade on behalf of clients, but what we do is give you the platform. So this platform, there's something called MetaQuotes. So currently, MetaQuotes is now the app where you go and choose the asset that you want to trade after logging into Windsor Brokers servers. So the opportunity that we give the youth currently is we are creating awareness of financial literacy in terms of giving them education and training, which we do free at our offices. So any youth who is out there, you're more than welcome to visit our offices and come and learn. Once you've learned and you've sharpened your skills in this kind of market, then you can now go ahead and open an account with Windsor Brokers, and then finally you can start your trading journey. So it's that simple. Yes.
So what you give is education and training on basically to give them an understanding of how
To navigate this kind of market.
navigate the kind of market, how trading works, and everything. So have you seen, what are some of do you have success stories of youths who have onboarded and are doing well and all that?
Yes, you can see them online. Some of them posting how they're trading, and I'm really glad that sometimes, I don't know whether it's the algo in my socials, but sometimes when I get into social media, I find even youth speaking about finance and all that stuff, which means we're actually really headed the right direction in terms of financial literacy. Yes.
All right. And what is the most successful project you have handled as COO at Windsor Brokers?
Fantastic question there. Now, at Windsor Brokers, currently I've been there for a year now. Actually, I'm turning a year 2 days from now. So,
Okay,
yeah.
wonderful.
So at Windsor, thank you. At Windsor Brokers, we've had a project whereby, since our target market is as the youth as well, and we all know how the economy currently is struggling, or the unemployment rates and everything. So after we've created awareness for these youths, we've given them training. There's a project that we came up with, which is sponsored data. Sponsored data. It means when you open an account and you want to trade with Windsor Brokers, you are going to trade for free without data, because we also need data to trade. Yes.
Okay.
So mobile data. So we offer it free for our clients who open an account with Windsor Brokers and trade. And that is one of the most successful projects.
Wow. That's quite interesting.
We've done, yeah. And we are the first in the industry to do that in our industry.
Wonderful. I think that's quite nice, because for most youths who want to get into it, maybe data might be a problem at some point. And for how long do you give this data?
Of course, the data we give it up to a maximum of 3 GB. For how long is until the project decides to pick up well. And for us, we're looking at long term, so to say.
So
yes.
it's still ongoing.
So it's something, we are trying to expose the youth into doing these kind of things and making their work easier. Yes.
Okay. Now, for getting back to you and your career, would you say, because some people would attribute success to luck and, you know, just being in the right place at the right time, but would you say yours is that, being at the right place at the right time, or is it really hard work that got you where you are?
To be honest, it's a mixture of both. You should be somewhere that is right for you, okay? And it's not luck. Do you know why it's not luck? Because I also put in the work to talk to these people that I'm getting.
Okay, so there's no luck in this equation.
It's a mixture of both, I would say.
Okay.
Yes.
So we need to be at the right places
at the right time.
At the right time, and put in the work even when we get these opportunities. Then what is the place of intentionality in growth in their career? Why should someone be very intentional about this, even in networking? How intentional were you? Did you get profiles of these people? How were you intentional when you're doing networking?
Yeah, you tend to prospect these networks that you're building. So just to put it out there, in the career growth and the career development, do a lot of prospects, especially if you want to change careers. We all know the job sites, so you need to get intentional with them. Go there, apply, get rejected. The best thing you can do is get yourself an interview. And then once you get yourself an interview, then once you're confident enough that this is yours and you believe it's yours, then it's gonna be yours.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful. What is that lesson? I know there might be many, but what is that lesson that you have learned while climbing the career ladder that you'd want to share?
So when you get an opportunity to actually lead people, probably you've started from somewhere and then you are climbing up the ladder. The opportunity is just create a perfect working environment. A perfect working environment is an environment where you as a person who is serving these people as a leader, are you approachable? Can these people talk to you? Can they come with their problems? Are you a solution provider? So when you have these things, look, in the world right now, everybody's just looking for solutions. So if you have solutions, trust me, you're going to go far in terms of your career development. Always be the problem solver.
Okay.
Yeah.
Always be the problem solver. There are a lot of problems in the world. And you've mentioned something very important, you know, for leaders, people who have leadership positions, and they take on that I'm the boss kind of, you know, approach, which is usually detrimental to the organization, instead of having that open communication. You know, is that a culture that you bring on that helps propel an organization for leaders that are watching in whatever space they're in? Being a leader, what kind of culture do you need to bring on, and how important is that in the success of the organization?
I tell you what, there's a difference. There's a very huge difference between a boss and a leader. To me, leadership's teamwork makes the dream work. A boss is, I got this, I'm going to do this, without involving your team members. And that is where most organizations failed. So at Windsor Brokers, where we work, in as much as we are stakeholders within the company, I would like to let the stakeholders out there who are probably our clients that the kind of teamwork that goes on in that organization, even you as a client, you might feel very happy, because you might decide to contact and you're looking for one person, but since you cannot get them immediately, then we have ready personnel that are there to work.
Okay, so having a culture where it's teamwork really makes the dream work, makes things happen. All right, even as we come to a close on this particular conversation, how can people get in touch with Windsor Brokers, and what's the onboarding process like?
The onboarding process is very seamless at Windsor Brokers. If you need an account with us, you simply apply online, windsorbrokers.com. You will be redirected to our domain, which is hosting the Kenyan clients. All we require is your ID, front and back, and then a proof of address, which is normally placed.
Proof of what?
Proof of address. Yeah, it's just like you going to open an account in a financial institution. They need to know. So proof of address here could be a utility bill, your KRA, the KRA form, you know it, the one that has your address.
Yeah.
So this, we match them with the application that you did, and then we onboard you. Once you pass Refinitiv, that means you've done the you've passed through KYC and a due diligence has been done to you, ensuring that you are actually fit and proper to do this kind of business. Fit and proper also means you are not involved in any scandalous, or you name them, into the financial markets.
You need to have a clean record.
Clean record, yeah. Yeah, and even if you didn't have a clean record, human beings make mistake. You could go and get your clearance certificate, and then we can onboard you.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Where are your offices, and what's your website?
Our website is windsorbrokers.com. Our offices are situated in 2nd Avenue, Parklands, Park Place Business Center, Windsor Brokers, 5th floor.
All right, great. And as a way of closing, and you sharing some advice, what would you tell youth out here who's been looking for work and they're saying there's no job in Kenya? We as young people are frustrated. The government is not helping us. That kind of talk. So what would you advise them today?
I would advise them to trust the process. And trust the process. They need to put in the work that I had mentioned. When they wake up every day, even if your job is just to apply for the jobs, are you doing it the right way? If you're doing it in the right way, then you'll eventually get there. So I would advise them not to give up. And there's a lot of opportunities, a lot. Now, as you can see, I've even mentioned to them at Windsor Brokers, we give you the platform to trade. So this can be your business. It can be your full-time job. So come, learn with us, and then finally, if you get a chance to grow yourself, even in this very, very industry, I wish you all the best.
All right. Thank you so much for this. Very insightful. We appreciate the talk. And maybe next time we'll have you come and talk to us about trading, how that happens, a bit of education around that. Thank you very much. So that has been Curtis Marvin. He's the Chief Operating Officer at Windsor Brokers, and he's been talking to us about growth in the career or career advancement. I hope you've taken something from it, and if you want to get into the business of trading and all that, then you can contact them, Windsor Brokers. We take a short break on this, but Sakwa will be coming up next with the next conversation, so stay with us.
Are you a talented artist? Or are you passionate about a topic you want to discuss? But money can be very hard to find for an upcoming artist. Don't worry, Studio Mashinani has got your back. Sign up on ajira.co.ke to book a session with our music and video producers across the country. Work on your music, jingles, spoken words, and even podcasts to realize your dream. All for free. Studio Mashinani, Radani Talent.
Chemi za uongo, stories za jaba ndo tingize ubongo, ndo bebe kawale tikiza kamongo.
What's up, everybody? Have you heard of Bounce Nation? We are the latest, most turned-up show in 254.
You know how we do each and every Tuesday, Thursday. Mad vibes, mad music. When you see this face, amazing vibes, pure niceness, mad music. Now always kumbuka wewe ndoko in full control.
I'm unavailable. They know they see me.
I go by the name Feeling Jean.
And I am the beat doctor DJ Epic, straight out of Gas Chamber DJs. You know how we do.
Of course, catch us every single Tuesday and Thursday from 4 p.m. all the way to 7 p.m. for mad energy, good vibes, and interviews and interactions with your favorite celebrities.
The young generation awakens on Y254, the leading youth TV station in Kenya. We treat you to current affairs, entrepreneurship, health, and human interest conversations.
It's art, it's culture.
Movies, gossip and trends, sports,
Drama.
We bring you a vibe like no other, straight to your living room.
to keep you informed, inspired, entertained, and most of all, refreshed.
We are such a vibe.
Y254. Imagine.
Here on Power Talk Show, we handle conversations of current affairs that directly affect you. We do a deep dive on conversations that involve relationships, mental health, finances, and other trending issues. We also share stories of people who have faced adversaries and managed to overcome them.
I'm a person who tried committing suicide 3 times. Yes, before I reached class 7.
Tune in to Power Talk each and every Thursday at 7:10 p.m. and join in the conversation with me, Cheryl Blessing, using the hashtag PowerTalk.
Shining in the setting sun like a pearl upon the ocean. Come and feel me, oh feel me.
Feelूं है पीने का मौसम तेरे संग इश्क तारी है
Ukifuata maisha yangu takufa na wivu.
What's up, beautiful people? It's your host with the most, Muna Joy.
And your DJ Faro the Finisher catches every Friday from 6 p.m. mpaka saa 2 usiku on Tano Kali Show.
Right here on Kenya's #1 channel, Y254.
Oh yeah baby jamboree I like the way we gone body.
We're going to be giving you hot trending topics that are happening on social media platforms. We will also be interviewing hella talented artists on the show as well.
Kama kawaida, I'll be here to give you the best mixes. Alafu sahau pia kuna top 5 hits of the week.
All right, see you then.
Like I never loved me in my life. So love me like you never loved me.
天上的云彩是黑哈流呀，嘿呀嘿哈流，嘿呦嘿哈流。那个地上的呀雨点儿呢呀流，哎呀地
identity,
You ever get the feeling that you're like two different people?
love,
I think about you too.
lust,
Happy birthday.
friendship,
You guys are my family. Whoa, what is this?
escapades that annihilate our innocence. For this is a story of the young and restless, the hungry,
But I want more.
and free-spirited, sometimes sweet, sometimes sour. Sugar.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to Why in the Morning.
Where we talk entrepreneurship and finance with ultimate risk takers and game changers.
Give you insightful career advice.
Discuss women making an impact in the society.
As well as issues affecting men.
Health matters affecting the youth and politics, technology,
not forgetting music and lifestyle.
And getting up close and personal with your favorite stars.
So make sure umetrosanyika na sisi.
Usanyika.
Ishenye amesema.
Every weekday morning.
From 7 a.m. to 10 a.m.
I start by the morning.
Hosa tekenywe.
Y254. Imagine.
Azolla is a branched aquatic fern that thrives or floats on the surface of stagnant water bodies such as lakes and ponds, as well as slow-moving rivers. It has been around for 1,000 years as an overlooked water plant until around the last 2 or 3 years. Farmers everywhere, from bustling farmers markets to popular social media platforms like X, are buzzing about its potential. You may hear some talk about darkweed, mosquito fern, or fairy moss, but all this are other names for the aquatic fern. Martin Okello, a youth farmer practicing Azolla farming, sheds more light on the secret plant transforming farms across Kenya and beyond.
Azolla is an aquatic plant majorly growing on water. This aquatic plant has got some nutritional advantages that when a farmer installs Azolla farming, introduce Azolla farming in his farm, then number one, it will be advantageous as Azolla will cater as a livestock feed. Number two, as a green manure.
It's a livestock feed and improves yields, especially chicken, that contributes to optimal egg weight, enhanced egg quality, and richer yolk color.
Azolla has got some nutritional advantages. There is a crude protein content that is of around 25 to 35%. Azolla has got amino acids and also some minerals like calcium, phosphorus, magnesium, potassium, and also vitamins like B12, beta also is in Azolla. You can actually improvise Azolla in your farm. That is, when you are a poultry farmer, you do layers. In layers, we encounter a lot of problems like weak eggshell, small eggs. We lose even the quality of the egg, you know. So Azolla will help to improve the egg size as it improves also the eggshells, and also it will increase the production of the eggs by around 50 to 75%.
Many farmers usually grow the fern in artificial ponds. You can use containers instead if you have limited resources and space.
kuna kitu inaitwa harvesting of azolla. Sawa sawa. Saa hii ukiangalia hii chupa, mimi nitakuwekea ndani ya hii chupa. Sawa sawa? Na nikikupakia na kupakia na maji. Sawa? Na kupakia na maji cause maji ndo ni uhai wake. Ukitoa ndani ya maji itakufa. Sasa ku harvest mimi nitachukua tu nikuwekee hivi kwa chupa hadi ijae. Alafu ikishajaa na kuwekea na maji. Sawa sawa? Ama ukienda kwa nyumba na hauna pond kama hii, uko na besheni azolla inataka tu maji peke yake.
Other than being a livestock feed, azolla doubles as an organic manure. Like legumes, it enriches soil fertility by fixing nitrogen in the air. So, you can spread it around the bases of your crops to increase yields.
In azolla, the laboratory indicates that azolla has got some symbiotic relationship with some bacteria like cyanobacteria, which fixes nitrogen to the soil. So you can use azolla as a biofertilizer in your farm. And also you can use azolla during composting, as it decomposes very fast and it fixes nitrogen to your compost.
Although many farmers usually venture into azolla farming purposely to obtain feed or manure for their farm, it can be your source of side income.
Right now, many people are looking for white-collar jobs, and they are crying that no jobs at all, no white-collar jobs at all. But now we are bringing a solution in every corner that now even youths, the slay kings and the slay queens now can do farming even without using soil, such that you can see, you cannot identify your nails in doing hydroponics.
Additionally, you can use azolla to control mosquitoes and weeds breeding in ponds and rice paddies, as it is environmental friendly.
Yes, additionally, also azolla will act as a weed repellent in the paddy rice. Like when you're a rice farmer, there are these weeds like chara which do actually frustrate farmers. So if you introduce azolla in the paddy rice, it will help fix nitrogen to the rice, at the same time helps in weed control. Then also, it's also a mosquito repellent. So azolla has got a lot, many advantages to a farmer.
Azolla is a relatively easy plant to cultivate, but like any other crop, it requires proper management.
Number one, azolla is being propagated 500 grams per pond meter square. Alafu umechukua 500 grams of azolla, umeweka hapa ndani. Sawa sawa? You'll propagate it that way, and then you'll only need a stagnant water. Utahitaji tu maji yenye imesimama, a stagnant water. Before you introduce azolla, you'll have to fertilize the water. Si ndio? Si hata mimea ya kawaida pia wewe unatumia mbolea. Sasa hapa utahitaji mbolea. Sawa sawa? Now, how do you fertilize azolla's water? Unatumia mbolea ya mbuzi, goat droppings. Goat droppings has a lot of phosphorus. So when harvesting, please harvest sparingly. Sawa? Azolla is an algae. Algae reproduces asexually, meaning there is no fusion of gametes. So something which reproduces via spores on water reproduces very fast. Sawa sawa? So within 5 to 10 days in a fertile water, utakuwa umeanza kuvuna azolla yako. Na hii utatumia kama chakula ya kuku, chakula ya nguruwe, chakula ya samaki, chakula ya ng'ombe, chakula ya sungura. Sawa sawa?
The major potential challenge is overly rapid growth, which can lead to blocked pump filters and inlets, reduced water flow and access for livestock, and limited sunlight penetration in ponds. However, management strategies includes the following: mechanical or manual removal by regularly skimming azolla with a net or hands can prevent overgrowth. By being aware of these potential challenges and implementing preventive measures, you can ensure azolla farming remains a successful and sustainable venture.
I urge all farmers to start azolla farming as it will cater for a lot of things in the farm.
Y254. Imagine.
All right, and welcome back. Thank you so much for staying with us. This is the last conversation of the day. If you missed the conversation Stephanie has had, you can just fast forward, but behind kidogo tu, just a little bit. You get to catch a glimpse of what she was talking about on career development. But right now, we're delving into an interesting topic of how to redefine success. What does success and the road to success entail? And what are the factors that go into, walking that journey? By the way, have you ever met somebody who you would say they inspire you, or when you observe their life, or when you watch the way they conduct themselves, you can attribute it to them being successful? But then I read somewhere, something said, success is mental. So today, right here, we're delving into that. Is it really mental? Is it about, material things? Is success visible? Can you judge? Can you read and tell the body language of a successful person? And that's what we're delving into. And I'm being joined live in the studio by two powerful gents. Dennis Josiah, he's a poet, a podcaster, and many other things he does alongside Denzel Kwanga. He's a creative designer and also a graphics designer, plus also many other things that he does. And I want us guys to just jump into it for the interest of time. You guys are reacting to me about the issue of Mr. Ibang Igonga. There's so many names that have been coined around it, but we'll talk about that later on. Yeah. When you try to look at our structure right here in Kenya, in terms of people that we look up to as mentors, as somebody that has already succeeded in something, can you read and tell that there's telltale signs of someone that exhibits, an effervescence or a personality and even a life of a successful person? I'll start with you, Denzel. Is it easy to read someone who's successful?
It is not. It's weird, but it's not. Because, recently we've been having cases of men committing suicide. Right. And you find most of them, to us, we see them as successful. He has a big house, he has a nice house, and a beautiful wife and kids. Yeah. And you just tell yourself, this is what I want to be. This is what I want to own. And to me, that is success. But then you find them committing suicide or just doing the craziest things. You find some are drunk, or some are just doing weird vices, like what you've said. Yeah. So, to me, it's not really something that you can actually look at someone and say that they are successful. To you, they are, but maybe to them, it's something else.
Yeah. Maybe let me throw the same question to you, Josiah. Can you read and tell a person is successful from the way they conduct themselves, their life? And now we have social media. Social media amplifies everything. Yes. And nowadays it's a world of curating. You curate an environment, the aesthetics are really divine. Yeah. And when that thing is posted, when that scene is posted on social, or even the photos, you're like, bro, these people are balling,
Because to me, I normally look at success as subjective. And what I ask myself is, can a blind person read who is successful? They can't. If you're put in a room and you have your success, you are on your own. There's no other person you can see. So how can you define success? Who defines success? What are the measures used to define success? Yeah. So I normally don't look at a person and say they're successful or not, because I've seen people work in a bank and they're looking like the most poor people until you see the check that they're going to deposit and it has a lot of zeros. Yeah. But vile alikuwa anaingia kwa bank, even the guard could be like, hey, you're not getting here because this is a place where you're supposed people to dress this way. But when you look at the wealthy, the rich, they normally dress so simple. Yeah. The Mark Zuckerbergs of this world, they dress so simple. But you look at other people, they've dressed, they have the most expensive watch, shoes and everything. They're coming in private jets. But somebody else even comes in a tuk-tuk or even in a bicycle. But now when you go and read about their wealth, you can't even fathom. So I can't say success is visual. It's just a thing that has been portrayed by the society to seem that way.
Yeah.
and they have the right to, you know, sell the aesthetic. But for me, success is very deep. It's
Right.
deeper than the material part of things. Yes.
All right. There's one of the guests here who I interviewed, but we were talking about money. He's a finance advisor, and he told me even the mindset of money is like money is mental. Yeah, poverty is also mental. That's what he told me. So he said you can have $100 billion, but then you feel horrible. You're empty. Your lifestyle is pathetic. And there's somebody who only has 10,000 bob in his or her account, but they're satisfied, they're content, they're peaceful, they have a positive demeanor. Do you also believe that maybe success, because at this point, and now with social media, if you add social media, it's like it's catalyzing the things that we admire. Everything is so flashy on social media. The celebrities, and maybe also, I want to throw it now personally to you. Do you have any mentor in your life that you say, this person is successful, and yeah, the road that this guy has walked, I think the milestones and the obstacles they've fought through, I can say they've conquered some 1, 2, 3 things, and I can say they are successful. I don't know, maybe you can tell me a short story about that.
I can say a mentor is somebody close to you, right? Somebody maybe we react to or something. I normally like to go against the grain and just say, in terms of a mentor, in terms of success, I'm not sure, but the people I look up to. I look up to various people, and I don't get attached.
Please mention that.
I don't get attached to a specific person.
I'd like to see so that we also study their
Yeah, because
profiles,
Rick Ross has a song called Idols Becoming Rivals, yeah? Where your idol become your rival. Because let's say I was looking up to you, and then you do something crazy that I don't even now want to associate myself with, you know. So that's being human. Humans disappoint, humans, you know, they uplift. So for me, I look up to Jay-Z. Jay-Z. I know I have friends who, after this interview, they'll be like, you're a Jay-Z fan, but, you know, Jay-Z has this thing going on. But for me, Jay-Z, I look up to Jay-Z because he came out of the project, you know, growing up in the masses and everything, and he defied odds to be where he is right now. Being a billionaire, and you know, when you be a billionaire, you are in a certain status where everyone is looking up to you, and also there are people who look, at you are now as somebody who should be having superpowers. You know, if you don't give back to the project, you are not the god they think you are. You know, but Jay-Z has been able to maintain his cool despite all the, you know, everything that has been pushed to him. Like ameambiwa kila kitu, you know, being in the Illuminati, you know, all this science and everything. But you see, these are entertainment. As entertainers, we have a lot of things going on. But what are you picking from this person that is inspiring you? For me, Jay-Z has gone through the grain. He has built a multi-million business, and his impact in my life is that of resilience. You know, where your environment doesn't define you. You can come from the ghetto and you can make it and still be humble about it. The good thing about somebody who is hit by stones and he is staying in a glass wall room is the fact that you take in all those stones and build with it a foundation. So for me, yes.
Yeah. Okay, because of I remember Jay-Z from Rock Nation.
Yeah.
It's interesting he's your mentor. Okay, music. Now, Denzel, he's talked about, you know, Jay-Z, but then I'd like us to maybe put it right here in Kenya before we go to the international, but it's good you mentioned an international personality. A person that inspires you, that you say, this one is successful. Hata kama hamjui, by the way, nitaonyesha kwa age yangu, even if it's 10 years later. Yeah, I'd like you to pinpoint maybe what are some of the things that they've conquered that you'd say they are successful.
Let me start by saying, I like what you said, success or wealth is mental. Because, okay, growing up, I wasn't as privileged, not certainly to tulikuwa pabaya, but I wasn't as privileged to access some things. So we grew up with that mentality of
luck.
Yes. Siwezi kunywa kahawa ya 300. Siwezi enda these expensive restaurants, and you know, there's a way that we usually limit ourselves, and our mind, mentally, we usually limit ourselves and say there are things you cannot do because I have to own like a million bob or something. But then I met this guy in church. He's a friend of mine from church who picked me up and mentored me.
Right.
And he shifted my mind. He shifted my mind, and he told me, you have to believe that you are worthy, or you are capable of getting these things in order for you to get. You know this book, Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich.
Right.
So it's all in your mind. You have to think, or you have to believe that you're worthy of some things in order for you to get them.
Right.
So for me, my mentor, he showed me that you have to believe you are worthy in order for you to get some things.
Yeah.
And I've seen him. He owns a digital agency. And he started from the ground up. He started from the bottom. Alikuwa anaishi kwa bedsitter. He built it, akasota, moved to a friend's place, stayed in the couch. Siwezi kumention jina yake juu hizo vitu. He stayed in his friend's place, akaenda akaishi kwa couch, akalala kwa couch yake for a few months, but he focused on building what he was building.
Right.
And right now he's at such a place where he can actually look at you and say, wewe uko hapa, you are at this level, and you have to do 1, 2, 3 for you to succeed.
Right.
So for me, it's about just looking at someone who has walked the journey that you've walked in, and ask what it is. Because mentors are usually people who have walked the journey that you want to walk, and they want you want to go in. So you look up to them, and you can learn a lot from them.
It's like what they say, don't ask advice from somebody who has not walked the path you've walked.
Exactly.
So I think it resonates with that. But then also for us as men, now that this is a men's setup, I think success maybe is also defined differently, because also in our African traditional society, it's like as a man, at 30 you're expected to have achieved some certain things in between, or you're not supposed to be struggling with some certain things in between. And also at 25 you should at least have grown and left your mother's house. And maybe at 35, I think I saw a video on TikTok, we were talking about it a couple of weeks ago. There's this mama who came on video and she said the son is 38 and he's not left the house yet. He's calling on people to help him get out of the house and look for a job. He's not even dating. Now you can say, I don't know if it was for a lady, if the story would have been different, you know. But then for us as men, for you to be successful, there's some specific things that you have to, working on yourself, your communication skills, how you appear, and people go to the extent of even going to the gym. There's insecurities in between as well. There's what ladies want, you know, and you also availing yourself in the dating space, But then also, like they say, we've even seen it in American shows. No lady wants a broke, you know, guy. So you must have at least some few assets on you, and assets will also go as far as finances. And Denzel, looking at that, and you know, just the culture we have right here in Kenya, is it possible for people to succeed without, you know, measuring or focusing on those specific standards that are already set? Or you can succeed in your own special way. You have 10,000, you're okay. Have a place to sleep, you're successful, bruh. The way you define success is self, other than what's already out there, what people see and what people think is success.
You know, it's weird. This past weekend, I've had 3 of my friends getting married. And you can understand.
How did you feel?
Yeah.
Were you invited in one of the weddings?
I was invited in all of them.
All of them. Oh my goodness.
So you're dancing from this one, you move to this one, this one. So this weekend I've had a lot of cake. So
okay.
And you can imagine. So most of the times when I go to places, I tell my parents. So I was having a conversation with my parent, and I was telling my dad. I was saying, hey, you remember Nani? He got married. I'm actually at his wedding. And obviously, you know where the conversation goes now. Okay, so what about you? What are you doing? Wewe ni lini? Kwanza that thing, shida iko wapi? It's like they see it as if you have a problem. Why are you not doing it? Why are you not doing what is expected of the standard?
Or now, why are you gay? The other the Pepe, should I call you Mr.?
Should I?
Why are you? Why are you? Because it should be at 35. We are expecting signs and symptoms, you know.
Bring us someone.
Atu akuekelewa tu, atuoni, you know.
You're not making.
And that's pressure, literally.
A lot of pressure. Because now, for me, I am happy for my friends. But then when you go back home, you start asking yourself, am I a failure because I don't have a wife, because I haven't found someone to marry? And you can look at your life, everything is good. You have a good business, you have money in the bank, you have a nice house, but because you're not doing what is expected, you feel like a failure, or you look like a failure.
Or also comparing yourself to already existing people like you.
Yeah, and comparison is the thief of joy. So you might have everything going on well for you, but by the fact that you are comparing yourself to a certain standard, you might feel like you're a failure, while it's not really the case.
Interesting. I think that's an interesting one. What about you, Jasa? What do you think of the same?
I think it all goes back to self, because how you view yourself is how you view the society, how you view everything, and that will define sort of the perspective you have in life. So to me, I tend to look at life as an individual's path, where I know I've set certain goals, I know the destination, and I know the process. So all these other external validations are pressure that can build me or they can break me. So what am I allowing in? What am I sieving out? And that sort of defines how I live. Yes.
But then there's also, there's somebody who's saying, e-forex, it needs to be investigated, right? And I think I saw there's something the government is trying to come up that will tap into the cybersecurity space to unearth what happens in the world of blockchain, the blockchain space, And I believe that entails forex and cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, and the rest. There's just a certain pressure for people to get quick money, buy this amazing first-class concierge cars, and we've seen it, there's non-people who are thriving on social media with huge followers of numbers. When you look at that, somebody's 18 or somebody's 24 and you're 27, maybe even 35. The car that this young man is driving, and people are adoring him, they're praising him, stories are being written on him on some of these mainstream blogs that you follow, right? And you're back there at home, with your podcast, and you're trying to picture yourself like, Lord, did you forget me? When will I be successful as this kind of guy? So that kind of pressure as well is pushing young men to do, sinister things to get, quick money in the name of painting a picture of like, I got it together, I'm successful, and also creating attention. I don't know what you think of the same before I come to you.
Pressure is good. Pressure is really good. But I'll skip on saying, is it pressure or validation? Because let's say I buy that car right now, and I'm not living in a mansion. Okay, I want a mansion. So we are being pressured to this system of consumerism, where we are consuming. And that's why kuna watu wengine wanasema wenyewe, hata sitaki kuwa na pesa. Jola kuna pesa, hawana raha. Pesa ni mzuri, because money is a tool. Joe Dispenza always say money is energy. Money is just, it's energy. It's not the figures you see on the screen or what you have inside the pocket. So, watu wanajipea pressure. Me imagine naamka, najipea pressure na kitu nimeona on social media. Like, I've met you today, right? I didn't know you exist. Basa leo nimekuja nimepata umevaa viatu za Gucci. Na mimi nimevaa hapa, acha, mtu wa kamera. Nimevaa Converse zangu hapa hivi za, maybe za 500 and stuff. And I'm thinking, I need to have those Gucci. But I just met you today and I'm seeing you're looking nice. Why can't I just appreciate what you have without comparing? Hiyo ndio pressure tunajipea. Tumeona tu mtu kwa social media ametrend, we want to have that. Instead of you giving yourself pressure, I wanted to have a car by, let's say, 35. I am 30 or I'm 34 or I'm 35. I cannot get this thing by 35, but I can still get it because I still have the zeal. So to me, jipatie pressure. Jipe pressure juu kitu umeona. Jipe pressure yako juu unajulisha hizi vitu kwa life. Hizi ni goals zangu and I want to achieve them, I will. So that's my pressure. Hizi zingine, distractions, bro. Focus.
They say maisha ni yangu. But then it's interesting as well, the people we look up to, especially the youngins who are influential. And social media is like, it has amplified everything that they do. So when you look at it, when you read it, the other day you've seen, I don't know, there's this celebrity, I think it's Selena Gomez, She's also been, inducted into the billionairehood, kingdom, And probably you're 27 up and maybe she's older or younger, you're like, sasa mimi nitai kuwa.
Especially if they're young.
It's crazy, and trust me, the pressure is there. So you look at someone, because most of the times I think it's human to compare. So you find you want to know the standard or the level where others are. So
Yeah.
you look at yourself and you're looking at which celebrity is around my age, and then you think, Justin Bieber has a Lamborghini, has a wife, has money. What
He is a
about
child.
me?
And then there's you.
And then there's me. And you're wondering,
Yeah.
okay, what's wrong with me? What's wrong? And I think through comparison and social media and where we want to succeed is where all these gurus came, who tell us, you have to wake up at 4 a.m. if you want to be successful. You have to shower with cold water if you want to be successful. You have to eat.
You have to sacrifice.
Yes,
stop,
yes, yes.
Stop using your phone
Stop
for
using
6
your
months.
phone. grind. And for me, I feel it's so counterproductive because at times, you find it's what worked for them, but it won't work for most of us.
Right.
And so when you put that as your template for success, and then you follow it to the latter, and it does
And
not
you
work,
fall on your face.
you feel so bad. You wonder, yo, I did everything you said. I did. Nimeoga na maji baridi hata July. I wake up at 4 a.m. I read 30 books a month. I do everything that you've said, yet I'm still broke. You know, I'm still living in a bedsitter. I still don't have rent. What is it that I'm not doing that? So most of us, mostly young people, young men, we tend to compare ourselves to them, look up to them, and want to be like them. So we look at their roadmap, and we see this is what they did, and we try to do what they did. We try to replicate it, but just because it worked for them does not mean it work for us. Because I think that I remember Phil Knight, the CEO of Nike, in his book, he said, most of the people who I'm only here, Nike only exists because I am lucky. Most of these people produced better shoes than I did, but because I met the right person at the right time, I was in the right place at the right moment. That's why I succeeded.
Right.
So most of us don't want to think about that. We don't want to recognize that time and chance happens to everyone. It's not, the race is not for the swift, because each and everyone will succeed at our own time. God knows wewe ulifaa kukua hapa. I was supposed to be here, he was supposed to be there. So we can't really be comparing ourselves. We want to, we'd like to, but Pila amesema, we should use it as good pressure. We should just try and use it as a catapult towards what we want, but isikue that is the standard that we want.
It's interesting, both of you, at least you quoted somebody inspirational. You quoted somebody from Nike, and the Nike guy has a book, right?
Yeah.
The name of the book is?
Shoe Dog.
Shoe
Dog.
I think I should read it. It looks like an interesting one. I've also read Robin Sharma's book. It's called The Leader Who Had No Title. It's about leadership as well. There's a place, there's a guy who's telling a story of how we see the world as we are, not the world as it is. Every one of us carries a filter inside of us that defines of what looks successful, what looks beautiful, what looks ugly, what looks amazing. So we carry that through life, and that is contributed by experiences. So I think it's relevant to this conversation. But then as well as we proceed further, you know, there's things that as a young man you must do to achieve some certain things. And I believe both of you have something going. You're a podcaster, bro. You're a poet, you're a podcaster, you have your own podcast going. I believe as a man, you're a builder, so you're trying to come up with something. And after a short stint, it will be recognized out there, bro. You'll be a household name. Same to you, bro.
Thank you.
So before you actually start walking that journey intentionally, I'm sure you came up with a very, I'd say, conscious decision and understanding at this point, I have to build something for myself. Other than just sitting at home like this other guy who, 38, I'm sure it's questionable. 38, still in your mom's house. You don't have your own house. You don't have a job. But it can be understandable if you were sick. But the mom did not say it anyways. But at least you're expected to at least start building something, So do you believe at least for a man, in as much as out all the odds that you have to fight against, at least have something that you can say, hii ni yangu, hata kama ni bolo.
For a man, if you're not talking about the tangible things, for a man, all you have to have is purpose. To me, that is the biggest. That is the biggest elephant in the room. Just have purpose. It can be a big purpose, like what Elon Musk is doing with technology. It can be a big purpose as you just having a home garden where you go and cultivate it in the morning and evening, and it's giving you a source of livelihood. So to me, as a man, I cannot ask for more than just purpose, because purpose drives everything. When we go for the material things are good, but material things keep changing. He's a very good an iPhone. He's very good at everything iPhone. He knows a lot about iPhone, and he knows the rate at which iPhone is produced. You can't keep up. You can't keep up.
In fact, they're coming up with 17 very soon.
I mean,
Next.
you have 15
20,
now.
And
In the next 2 months, 17. So 16 looks like nothing.
And you're still saving for the 10.
Yes. But if you have purpose, then all these material things that are coming up in the world, they're just things that make your life better. So for me, I'd say for a man, just have purpose. You can be 38 and living in your mom's house, but you have a purpose that by 40, I'm hitting, the road and embarking on my journey from 40. Life begins at 40, some life begins at 18, some life begin at 30. As long as you're not being a burden in your mom's house at 38, then.
But also,
but the
whose
African
mom-
setup and
what kind of mom will stomach you until you're 38?
it's crazy. It's crazy.
Unless they adore you that much and they
Or
love
unless you have a big
because as a
house.
man,
Yeah.
unless it's those maisonette where
Yeah.
or bungalows, there's like 6 bedrooms.
There's a
Yeah, the American lifestyle where the whole entire family
yes,
is under one roof
in a
and they have
mansion.
no issue.
But if you're talking about the bed sitters and the
Or let's just say
bedrooms
a
of this-
3-bedroom, 4-bedroom.
that's a problem.
You have your other siblings in there, your sisters,
Sorry,
and if
yeah.
your dad is around, I'm really sure he will kick you the hell
But that,
out.
38 is far end. 38 is far
Yeah,
end.
because most of the times, I remember there's a friend of mine, there are 4 boys and the dad. So when they were around 18, 19, the dad just told them, kuna vile tunanguruma, wanaume wote tunanguruma kwa hii nyumba. Hii nyumba ni mimi na nguruma peke yangu.
Too many lions.
There are too many lions in this place.
Anasema, huyu ni bibi yangu, wewe toka tafuta wako na kwako.
And for me, I think what you said is true. Most of the times as men, we really need to find purpose. And purpose is building something, is creating something. That's why we are creatives. Like we find joy in creating, in building. When you have something and you say, this is mine, this is mine.
This is my original idea. This is my invention. This is my creative original idea. Like you feel good about it. Like even when you're on TV, this one is a podcaster, this one is a creative fashion designer, many other things. You get validated, and over time, it builds the confidence of expanding and scaling.
It does. And when you have something bigger than you, then it's the thing that keeps you waking up early in the morning. Because tell you what, when you have a job and you get fired, let's say like I had a job and then jana nilikuwa fired, will I be able to wake up in the morning? I can't, because I had a routine. Each and every morning I was waking up to go somewhere. Now I don't have a place to go to. I don't have the courage to wake up or even the discipline to just wake up because I was used to going somewhere. But if you have a purpose, then yes, a job can end, but
it's not your life ending.
This is just, it's like an income has been stopped, but there's still something bigger that you're chasing. This was catapulting you to the bigger thing that you're going to, and that's what keeps you going. Otherwise, ingekuwa tu ni job na inafanyika tuamke.
Yeah, but then also as a man, since we are men, anyways, this is a men's podcast. As a man, there's things that you have to sacrifice, Pierre, for you to position yourself for, now to start experiencing and even attracting. I believe after some time, people will start saying, have you you even see the reels going viral where people are quoting the insights you said in your podcast. You as well. So it takes time and the sacrifices and also the investment that it takes for you to put into that body of work that you're working on, or that body of art. So it means the sacrifices you have to make, and the sacrifices will go down to the person of discipline.
Yes.
So if there's some behaviors that you are, you know very well, if I do this thing, I'll feel dizzy, or if I watch this and that, it makes me feel like this. So you have to start panel beating yourself, and you now have to be your own teacher. So when people call you, hey bro, tunaenda whichever club is famous, you're like, bro, me Friday nitaenda Kesha, because now you're building your spirituality. Oh bro, Saturday tunaenda sijui wapi. You're like, oh, Saturday I'm filming a podcast, you know. So I believe the sacrifices that we have to put in so that they create this journey and this path that we are saying it's a path of success. I don't know, do you believe there's things that as a man you should stop doing? Once you figure 25, please, if you're still doing those things, forget anything that has to do with achievements, for that matter.
Move out of your mom's house.
The first thing.
First thing. Because I remember, okay, I moved out of my mom's house at 25. And it was at the height of COVID. And everyone told me I was crazy. Kijana, saizi everyone is just moving back home. They are trying to cut down on expenses. And that's the time I was moving out. So it was so crazy to so many people. But for me, I had just promised myself, when I get this age, this big age, I have to get out. I just have to get to a space where I am making something out of myself. I need to be someone that I will look back and admire.
Right.
And most of the times we are advised, or more majorly I was told by my dad, that as a man, don't look for comfort. Don't seek comfort. Comfort leads to complacency. You will find yourself just umelegea. Because when you are really, really comfortable, it's more of you'll be...
Your guard is down.
Yeah, your guard is so down.
Your guard is down.
And that's why, as you said, you find at times you have this job and you've put all your eggs in that basket and you believe, mimi nimefika, nimemaliza.
Right.
So when you lose that job, the bubble bursts and you start panicking.
You're thrown out of balance.
Yeah, you're thrown out of balance. You find yourself not even able to wake up in the morning because you don't know what you want to do. You don't know what you do.
Yeah.
And so for me, it's more of whatever it is that we have, we want to buy, they should be more of convenience. They should make our lives easier to keep pursuing our purpose. And when we talk about the story of tenacity and building something out of yourself, I want to give this guy flowers. Because where I have looked up to this guy.
Hey, come back. They're only my mentors. Mentor and mentee.
Aki, he's really inspired me.
Okay.
Like, he is this guy who is not scared to move in a direction that not many go.
Right.
So he usually challenges the status quo.
Wow.
Aliambiwa itabidi umenyoa dread ukitaka kupata kazi.
Yeah, by the way.
He said no. He said
I wanted to throw that in because I saw recently sorry, before don't forget that other idea, hold on to it. Anaitwaje cabinet secretary wa labor alikuwa anasema kama ulikuja hizo audition na ulikuwa na dread na ndevu hauendi hiyo kazi. And then the reactions were ni ndevu ama ni akili ama ni mwili, because there's a little bit of a contradiction. And now that you brought it in, I feel like let me throw in. Let me throw in it. Yeah.
Because he has walked into so many doors that people who look the way he looks like don't get into. He has done things. He has, I think he can talk about it. He has organized festivals and brought so many people from diverse walks of life. And in our lineage, it's not something that has been done, and in his space and his age mates have not yet, have never done it before.
Right.
So just looking at someone who got out there and built something out of himself, I think
it's
he's
impressive.
the perfect guy.
It's impressive.
Yeah, he should just he should
mentor
talk about
and mentee. That's impressive. That's impressive, Josiah.
It's good to receive your flowers on a national television.
Yes.
You know, before I die, you know, see, it's like you're
God forbid. God forbid. God forbid.
Yeah. And then guys are saying so much stuff on my eulogy, but they didn't say it when I was alive. Thank you so much. And a happy birthday to him.
Oh, happy birthday
it's
to
happy
you,
birthday
Denzel.
to you. Thank you. Sina sauti ya kuimba, but you know, when your birthday falls on 11/11,
Oh,
then
to
that's
yes,
a,
today's level 11.
Yes,
But,
11.
I
So
even
that's
did
the
sikuwa
age.
nimeona hiyo. Sikuwa
Yes.
nimeona hiyo.
In the
I swear.
spirituality world, it's huge.
Wow, okay.
Astrology, it's huge for us. So thank you so much. And
The bromance is really good. I love that.
You are creative.
Rarely do you
so
see men who revere other men.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
I admire him because you know, not many men talk. Not many men talk between each other, amongst each other, and we normally Saturday tunaongeaga ni time tunataka ku meet tukikunywa. Or you know something bad has happened like heart. Nataka usaidizi. 2K urgently. Gas imeisha, you know. So that's the only time you reach out. Like we have friends who we reach out to when we want money.
Yeah.
We have friends who we reach out to when we have something we want to offload off our chest. And we just have friends who we talk to on a normal basis. Like I have something good going on, I've seen something good, I'm sharing and everything. So as a man, let me not say I'll brag, but I moved out of my mama's house when I was class 8. Yeah, so I don't remember the last time I asked my mom for money or stayed in her house.
What about dad? Where is dad in the equation?
The dad. My dad passed away.
Oh, sorry for
passed
that.
away. So I think he was talking about the mom, so I picked it up. But from my parents' house.
Right.
My parents' house. I moved out Kitambo Sana, and I thank God for boarding school. Because boarding school is a good place where it shapes you as a man. Hapo ndo unaanzanga ubachelor, yani katika boarding school you trading, you're doing butter trade. Niko na skari na form 1 ako na koko, so
ama biscuits na uji na blueband. Hizo vitu ziko zinaendanisha.
Yaani zilikuwa zinaenda, so mimi niko na hii nipe hii nikupe hii.
Right.
And to me those are the things that have molded me into the person I am right now.
Right.
When I was starting my art career, I was creating from a point of pain. You know? And it was really, really influencing what I was creating.
Maybe pain that emanated from a painful experience, a traumatic experience, or maybe lack of, because moving out of your family's house in class 8, bro, you're still a baby boy that needed motherly and fatherly support. So I can imagine the things that happened, the experiences that happened between teenagehood, early 20s, mid 20s. I don't know if you're in your 30s or late 20s.
Mid 30s, yes.
Yes, I can only imagine the experiences in between here. So when you said pain, I pinpointed to that.
Yes.
Is it because of the experiences in between?
It's a pain that digs deep. And I think it starts from poverty. Poverty is poverty is the worst. Poverty is the worst pain that you can ever go through. I remember in primary, at some point, me and my nephew, we had to like lie to our classmates that we hadn't eaten. And then they had to like really, you know, just come through, wakachanga wakatubaya bread. Nasa umetoka kula lakini ile chakula ulikula ikushibisha. And I was like, man, what are we going through? And you know, you can't blame your parents or anyone or the environment, you just have to survive. And then now getting out of class 8 and form 4s, now you're in the real world where now, you know, now you're a grown up and you have to survive on your own. You're trying to create and, you know, you're not getting the recognition that you support.
What about the support?
Yes,
I'm
the
looking
support, the
because
recognition.
every man needs support, whether it's from
especially when you're
strangers,
starting.
from angels or your family, you need support here.
You are starting out, you're losing, maybe if you're trying to date, you lose out on a girlfriend. You know, you're trying to build, you're losing out on your family because they're not seeing the results. And everyone wants this dopamine result.
Even somebody just believing in you, it's part of building.
That is enough. That there's, I mean, he told me at some point that we all need validation. I was really questioning that we don't need validation. You need your self-validation. And he was like, no, you need validation at some point. Even if it's little. It keeps you going. It's like gari ikienda, kuna wakati tu inataka lazima tu yenye itaingia kwa petrol station fuel. So for me, those are the things that have fueled me to be the person who I am today because I was like, okay, I'm not getting this, I'll create. I'm not getting this, I'll create. I'm not getting this opportunity, I'll create the opportunity. So even the Diversity Festival, which is a festival that brings entrepreneurs and artists, you know, having the Unedited Voices podcast is about speaking your mind. You know, because we have been.
How many episodes size do you have?
Hey, I put a lot of
Countless,
episodes on
yeah?
TikTok. Yeah,
Uh-huh,
on TikTok
okay.
mostly because nowadays I realize attention span ya watu ni kidogo sana. Si kama juu there a podcast that go for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Hapa 2 hours, watu wako busy bana.
Yeah, people just want
yeah,
excerpts of specific catchy parts, yeah?
Yes.
Nice.
So so through the podcast is also a space for men, and I'm really thankful for this show because it's helping us men to talk, where we don't be vulnerable. Wanasemanga if you're vulnerable to some people, they'll really listen to you until they use what you told or told them against you.
Nice.
So when you get safe spaces to talk, it's really good. You know?
Yeah. Back to you, Denzel. I think how many minutes do we have? I feel like time is running out really fast. We'll have a part 2 and then we can switch to another topic. That's a suggestion. So archive it pale kwa graphics. When you look at us, especially as men, there's some things that you have to be very, very careful when you're choosing to engage in or do. And that will tap back to your discipline. So individually for you as Denzel, are there things that you've chopped off that you said enyewe mimi sirudi kama ni hao marafiki hapo ndo tumeachana. So for me, I'm charting a different path and I'm going to be disciplined, you know, until I get to where I'm going. I don't care if it's going to take me 20 or 30 years. Yeah.
Two things. One, I don't drink.
You cut off drinking.
I cut off drinking.
Okay.
Like, unajua ile unasema, there is a point where you say, I can't drink this. But I just stopped and said, I don't drink.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to explain.
Did that make you look differently from
it? Did.
They'll be like,
of course.
Because there's this saying, mwanaume lazima kuna kitu ikuue. As a man, something must kill you. You know, and they say women, alcohol, porn. In fact, porn is, you know.
Yes. And I have struggled with. I quit in after campus. After campus, I just said, you know what, I'm not going to drink anymore.
Right.
And I've been having a lot of relapses. It happens. You go to a graduation party. Boss, unakaja hapo na Del Monte. Kidogo tu. You know, and maybe one won't hurt.
Yeah.
3 bottles.
Just one
in,
for the road, one for the money, one for the
like,
shorty. You know.
What am I doing? What have I done? And it's been really difficult because now you have to avoid some friendships. You have to cut off some relationships because there are some people who only call you to drink, to party, and all that.
Right.
And for me, as I've said, my dad majorly advised me to not seek comfort, but to be a man of purpose, to be a man who can build himself. And for me, by seeking discomfort means I'm unemployed. Means means I am an entrepreneur. Means I am.
You're self-employed.
I am self-employed.
Watch to work with self-employed because it's 9:58, and we can't go beyond 10 a.m. So I want you guys to give your social media. We'll have a part 2. Trust me, you'll be back here next Monday. So say your social media and how people can get to support you very fast, and then you.
Hi, so I'm Denzel Kwanga. I'm a graphic designer and a content creator. So on Instagram, you can find me at Denzel Kwanga, and on TikTok also at Denzel Kwanga.
Right.
Those are the advantages of having a unique name. You don't have to say Denzel Kwanga 1, 2, 3 or something.
Okay, what about you?
Yeah, Poeta Dennis on all social media. Instagram, Shuja King. Shuja is Shu and Ja. J-A-H.
This guy's really creative.
Nice. I love the creative aspect.
Poet, podcaster, and a ballerina.
Okay. Yes. Thank you, Sana. We'll have a part 2 and another topic on top of it. Thank you so much. Denzel Kwanga, creative designer, graphic designer, many other things he does. Check him out alongside Dennis Josiah, poet, podcaster, many other things he does. Thank you so much for coming through today. And we also say thank you for watching from exactly 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. We'll see you tomorrow bright and early right here. See you tomorrow.